It's the Madhouse Maniacs. They're getting up on their feet.
Mass chaos. Oh, he hits them. Climbing all over each other. Trouble.
Every time you turn around, there's physicality.
The fans are on their feet for a photo finish.
Winston-Salem, North Carolina, the home of NASCAR's greatest Coliseum.
We have action every Saturday night here at Bowman Gray Stadium.
Still the most exciting of them all.
Big crash. Oh! This is Bowman Gray.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the 1120th edition of Still the Most Exciting of the Ball, NASCAR Advanced Auto Parts Weekly Series action live on Flow Racing. And tonight, it's the Market USA 100 and $2 College Night at Bowman Gray Stadium. I'm Matthew Dillner, joined alongside by Winston-Salem native James Pike in the house here at Bowman Gray, and we've got an exciting lineup of racing for you.
A very exciting lineup of racing on this, the summer solstice and longest day of the year. So this, in theory, should be the hottest the track is all season. Street Stocks will open us up this evening. 2 sportsman races. The Market USA 100 for the Brad's Golf Cars Modifieds, our headliner in the middle of the program. 2 stadium stock races to close out this evening.
It is going to be a great night. It is hot out here in the state of North Carolina, but the fans are showing up. The rubber is laid down on the racetrack, something we haven't seen here last week, of course. We got a little range shortened last week, but not before we saw Justin Taylor, Donkey Strong, take the win in the Sportsman division, and the same old in the stadium stocks.
Brandon Brendel got the victory in the Q104.1 stadium stocks, continuing the model of consistency he has laid out all season long.
Well, speaking of consistency, the big story has been our featured division, and that is the NASCAR Brad's Golf Cars Modifieds. Burt Myers chasing down Brandon Ward, the tale of 2 seasons.
The one big thing to note about this, yes, Burt Myers has more wins, but Brandon Ward has been more consistent. Burt Myers had the mechanical issues in the 6th week of racing here back in May. That really is largely responsible for the point gap that Ward has on Myers atop the Brad's Golf Cars Modified standings. It's not particularly massive, but it's just enough to make a difference. And when the margins are as tight as they are in the Madhouse Modifieds here, 18 points can go a long way when we get to the 3rd weekend of August.
It was funny because one of the members of the team the other week said, how are we still in the points lead? Burt Myers is winning everything. 4 victories for Burt Myers, but if you look at that consistency, that is exactly why. We've got a great night of racing for you live here at the Madhouse on Flow Racing. Boy, oh boy, is it going to be awesome. Modified standings right now. We just talked about that. Brandon Ward is your points leader. Burt Myers just behind now with 18 points, and he leads the division 4 wins. But look right there, P3, the youngster, the sophomore sensation, the real deal, Riley Neal. And when will Tim Brown get his first win? It's been since July of last year.
And let's not forget, we still have some double points nights left within the season to really shake up these standings. So these margins might be big now, but you have a good finish on one of those nights, it can really flip the point standings.
Well, let's toss it to break real quick, and we'll come back with all the racing action live from the Madhouse, Bowman Gray Stadium.
Choice Tire and Automotive is a full-service auto repair shop and your number one source for tires and wheels in Kernersville, North Carolina. They offer a variety of automotive services to keep your vehicle rolling on the road and off. Choice Tire and Automotive offers check engine light repair and diagnostics, oil changes, brake repairs, alignments, balancing, rotations, and general automotive repairs. They bring the best quality service possible in everything they do, and their team is committed to providing the best workmanship and customer experience possible. Choice Tire and Automotive's hours are Monday through Friday from 7:30 a.m. till 5 p.m. Give Choice Tire and Automotive a call at 336-992-9002 and let them take care of your tire and automotive service needs.
We are back live on Flow Racing here at Bowman Gray Stadium, and the modified drivers have just taken the fans challenge. $6,000 on the line. The top 4 qualifiers in the Brad's Golf Cars modified division. Jason Myers declaring, so did Lee Jeffries and Chris Fleming. They will drop to the rear of the field. If they make it up to the top 4, they have a chance at a $6,000 bonus. We're getting ready for the Racer's Prayer and all the pre-race. Let's toss it down to Randy Pulliam.
Keep me safe along the way, not only me, but others too, as they perform the jobs they do. Lord, I know that in a race, I, the driver, must set the pace. But in this race of life, I pray, help me, Lord, along the way. Although I know I'm a sinner, help me to believe that with Christ, you're always a winner. Amen. Please remain standing as you're able, removing your caps and your hats as we honor America with the playing of our national anthem. Race fans, you know what they say. Saturday night's all right for racing. Say it with me, folks. Let's go racing!
The words everybody likes to hear at Bowman Gray Stadium, and boy, we're going to fire them up. But first, let's take a quick break on Flow Racing. We'll be back with night 1120. for his third career win. Austin Jones scores the victory. The fans are on their feet. Double checkered flag. It's Austin Jones for the Street Stock 50.
Austin Jones gets it done.
Four top 10 finishes this year for Austin Jones. And can he make it 3 tonight? A great racing pedigree. Keeping up with the Joneses. Pee Wee Jones, of course, his grandfather, one of the greats of all time here. And 74 years ago, last week, he scored his first ever Bowman Gray win. Can Austin Jones do it tonight? 4 street stock career wins.
And this car has been noticeably faster in 2025. Last year, they were splitting attention between a Pro Late model that they were working on and this car this year. They've turned their attention entirely to the street stock, and it has made all the difference in the world so far as his performances at the Madhouse go.
Well, let's give you the starting lineup for tonight's 20-lap street stock race, the QRC HVAC and Refrigeration Street Stock Division. Starting on the pole, of course, the Mountain Fried Chicken 24 of Austin Jones. To the outside, the Fortress Roofing number 9, it's Brandon Brown.
Starting in third out of Moxville, North Carolina, it's the number 13 Privet & Son Plumbing Machine, piloted by K-Train Kevin Gilbert. Starting in fourth, the number 8 car out of Lexington, North Carolina, the statewide roofing machine, Kyler Staley behind the wheel.
The dog. All right, starting fifth in the Davis Water Service number 1. It's the defending champion Christian Joyce. To the outside, the Parkway Ford fastest plumber. It is Zach Koger.
Starting in seventh out of Kernersville, North Carolina, driving the A1 pressure washing number 23. It's Jordan Atkinson. Starting in eighth, the number 19 Amsoil machine, piloted by TJ Whaley.
Starting ninth tonight, the U.S. Unlimited Services 16. It's Big Daddy Brad Lewis. And to the outside, the Sykes Metal Roofing Machine, your points leader, Brian Sykes Jr.
Starting in the 11th, the 00 driver had a birthday yesterday out of Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Happy birthday indeed to Moose Martin, driving the Mule Skinner Trucking Machine. Starting in 12th, the number 28 out of Winston-Salem, North Carolina, driving the Sykes Metal Roofing car. It's Brian Sykes Sr.
Starting 13th tonight, the name you'll know, that is Wallace. This is Chrissy Wallace in the Privacy Fence Solutions number 6, daughter of Mike Wallace. And on the outside of her will be the Route 64 Diner number 33, the big man, DJ Dean.
Final starters in this field, it's Zach Staley, Halvey, Justin Halverson, Emily Lewis, Craig Hartless, Nate Kirk, Brian Shoup, Brian Robertson, and Cooper Lowe, rounding out the 22-car field for our first feature of the evening, featuring the QRC HVAC and Refrigeration Street Stock Series.
Under the heat of a Carolina blue sky Saturday night here in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, we're about to get underway. The fans rise to their feet on Market USA night. Green flag is out for the street stocks.
Fabulous jump there for Austin Jones. Going to get clear of K-Tribal. Maybe call it a car length if, as they go down in the north turn for the first time, battle a little bit heavy and heated further back with Brad Lewis trying to gain some spots, but they're single file up at the front of the field. Austin Jones in control.
I'll tell you what, I'm looking to the third place right now, and that is the number 9 of Brandon Brown holding a pretty steering wheel, and the guy behind him is probably feeling a little desperate. And right now, Brown sideways through the north turn. Christian Joyce has to stack up behind him. Joyce, last year's champion, having a tough season so far, trying to make the bleeding stop and get himself a good run tonight.
Brandon Brown rebounding nicely from Matthew Dillner's commentator. Curses there's contact just further back as Brad Lewis gets into Kyler Staley, and there's a little bit more contact with some of the Staley machines behind. One car piles in, and that will bring out our first call, 811, before you take caution of night 1120.
That's Brian Sykes in the number 28, who just kind of gets in there late. It looks like Staley was going to spin and no harm, no foul, but then Sykes comes in and tattoos him a little bit on the right side of that Bully's Bar and Grill number 8. The window net is down on the 8.
Sykes Sr. going to pull away from the scene and continue the racetrack, not to be confused with our points leader, Brian Sykes Jr., his son.
Brian Sykes Jr., the points leader.
So he rolls to the back of the field and should get sorted out somewhere towards the tail, since he was involved in the yellow, as the safety crews are going to come to the aid of Kyler Staley, who's going to take a hit in the point standings. Entered this evening third in points, 20 back of Brian Sykes Jr. for the points lead.
Well, there is the number 8 in the lawn. Just got a text message from my buddy Ralph, Dale Earnhardt Jr., who's winning crew chief today at Pocono. And he said, man, that was fun. So awesome day in NASCAR. You know, of course, the Cup Series up in Pocono. And, of course, you know, we love having a lot of NASCAR short track racing here live on Flow Racing, where you can see the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour, ARCA, and, of course, some of the weekly racetracks, and including this one here every Saturday night. There is the Daniel Davis Towing Big Red hooking up your third-place points, man. Not a good night for Kyler.
Trying to remember all the nicknames that you have for the tow truck. So there's Big Red.
That's Big Red.
There's Old Blue, I think, right?
Yep. White Lightning.
And White Lightning. Okay,
Yeah.
the trio, right?
Yeah, the Trio Grande, like New York Islanders there. Sorry, a little Islanders reference. Do you know who the Trio Grande was?
You're going to have to – I'll probably know
Hockey
of them.
culture.
Right,
Sorry,
right.
guys.
As you say them, I'll probably recognize them.
Brian Trottier, Mike Bossy, the prolific goal scorer, and Clark Gillies on the left side. Anyway, Daniel Davis towing vehicle moves them off. 4 laps on the board for the QRC HVAC and refrigeration Street Stockers. Street Stockers going first tonight and in the heat.
In the warmest day. And it's interesting to note here, we're not going to get sundown for another 40 minutes again. This the beginning of summer, first day of summer, and the longest day of the year in the Northern Hemisphere. So you won't have a sunset any later than tonight. And so for those running in this very first race of the program.
Well, you got some people already rubbing into each other there. You got the Koger Plumbing car and Bryant Robertson jockeying. No, it isn't. It is I can't see what car that is. Oh, it's the number 4 of Emily Lewis. A little jockeying for position, but you see the 6 car right there. That is Chrissy Wallace, daughter of Mike Wallace, former NASCAR superstar, and alongside the number 7 of Zach Staley, those team cars. So one of the 3 cars is out tonight. Chrissy Wallace taking her first laps last week in a street stock here. She, I talked to her about it. She has a lot of experience. What people don't realize is in this summer shootout at Charlotte Motor Speedway of how to hustle a car on a flat racetrack with no banking. It's hard. It's really all about getting the car turned, and that's something that I think she's going to do pretty good at here.
Worth noting that quarter mile at Charlotte Motor Speedway was designed after, drum roll, anybody want to guess? Maybe Matthew Dillon here, you take down some S&P lemonade, perhaps? Do you know? Bowman Gray Stadium, same setup there with the quarter mile on the flat track. So it would make sense that if you've got experience at the quarter mile in the summer shootout, that would translate, especially here, since the track dynamics are so similar.
Yeah, and the Legends car is a lot harder to handle than these street stocks.
That is true.
Sure.
That's also very true.
But hey, we highlighted him at the beginning of the show, and right now, your leader in the event with a great racing heritage, Pee Wee Jones's grandson, Austin Jones. To the rear of him, the Garrison Gray, number 13 of the K-Train. Battle is on for the 3rd position, though. That's what I think is going to be the hottest battle on the track. Christian Joyce in the number 1 machine, peeking to the inside. Will he shoehorn his way in there, and he gets a little bumper into Brown's number 9, tries to get under him. Oh, contact for the lead.
And that was Austin Jones trying to keep K-Train at bay, and now it's an absolute mess for the 3rd spot. Contact with Brandon Brown and Brad Lewis and Christian Joyce. Lewis got the worst of it because here comes Brian Sykes Jr. to the inside to get 4th.
That is your points leader taking advantage. When opportunity knocks, that smooth young race car driver has done it, and he's done it the right way. He's done it smoothly, and you saw it right there. The chaos erupted in front of him. Smooth and calm to the 4th position.
Sometimes it's just better to let the chaos happen in front of you and take advantage of the moments. That's exactly what Brian Sykes Jr. did, and now he's starting to run down Christian Jones for the 3rd position. Meanwhile, just a little bit further back, Moose Martin and Brad Lewis really starting to put the pressure on each other for the 5th position.
Well, it looks like Brad Lewis is trying to give him a few birthday punches back there for the 5th position, the 2 black cars. Battling on your screen right now, Brad Lewis to the inside of the Moose. The Moose is on the loose, the 63-year-old, now holding the wheel on the outside, the tough way around Bowman Gray. Give the spot to Brad Lewis. Little bit of contact as he tries to file in behind.
A lot of bit of contact there as they all check up in the middle of the south turn as we hit halfway in this first race of the evening for the QRC HVAC and Refrigeration Street Stock Series, their feature of the night. It's still Austin Jones in control, but look at the battle here with Brandon Brown. I see the 72 machine trying to make some moves in there. The 30 also fighting for position. That's Bryant Robertson, who's done a nice job climbing from the rear of the field to the front. as they continue to work. Here comes Emily Lewis underneath Christy Wallace. Contact there. Lewis will go around at the top of the screen. That'll bring out the call. 811 before you dig. Caution on lap 11 of 20.
Great job, James Pike.
Things move fast here at Bowman Gray. You have to be ready for it.
You have to be ready for everything. You know, if you're a fan sitting in the grandstand, there's stuff happening everywhere. In the grandstands, on the racetrack, you don't know where to look at sometimes. And our camera guys doing a great job. Joe Radler, Elgin Trailer, doing a great job here. We've got our static cams, of course. Truman Fontello doing the Turn 1 camera. Great job by Truman.
A lot of fabulous folks here on site. We've got two fabulous ladies at Concord making things happen between Sarah Akins and Jordan Neiman. So shout out to those two punching all the buttons and making all the tech things happen to get us up on air as we get a good
Speaking
look
of
at
the
Emily
fast females, we've got our female production
Emily
group.
Lewis.
Look at this. Emily Lewis right there in the number 1 female winner here in the street stock division.
Lights are already off on the modern Chevrolet pace car. Shell set to make the move back to green flag racing. Lap 12 of 20 up on the board.
Yeah, Justin Mincy making good note to us, talking about really, we were watching the 13 car rotating really well in the center of the corner. The Jones car has been one of the best cars in the season. Opportunity hasn't always been there for him with the draw, but Kevin Gilbert, the picture of consistency in this division so far in 2025. Now we go back to green with 12 laps on the board.
If we can get a long green flag run, that may play into K-Train's favor as it stands. He drives it deep into the center of the corner and actually gets off pretty well for as deep as he drove it. Meanwhile, stacking up a little bit further back. Here comes K-Train, putting the nudge to Austin Jones. There goes K-Train to the bottom, looking for the race lead here, coming to lap 13.
He's to the bottom. Can the K-Train do it? He's to the inside. The fans are getting riled up here for one of the great veterans here at Bowman Gray. Still looking for his first career win. He has the lead coming to lap 13. Sideways. Jones tucks in behind.
Trouble a little bit further back, though, as the leaders continue the race. It will bring out the call 811 before you dig caution. I believe that's Halvey over in the middle of the north turn that is stopped. Justin Halverson, the one that has gone around to bring out this yellow blade number 3 of this QRC HVAC and refrigeration street stock feature.
Halvey spun there in the north turn.
Stuck there, crews waiting for just a window of opportunity to get to him. It's a tight racetrack here at Bowman Gray, so you have to sort of let the field process itself before you get any opportunity to see whether or not Halvey needs help. Looks like that car will at least get turned around and drive its way back towards the front stretch. A little bit of damage on both sides, but nothing that immediately suggests that he would need to go back to the pits to get that fixed.
Yeah, I think that car should be okay. Halverson's car, no worse for the wear. The CCW Insurance number 82 with the reflective numbers on it. Beautiful sunset here. As we go 1 to go, we're going to go right back to racing here. It will be 5 laps to go, Pike.
I wonder if these warmer conditions and the fact that they're racing earlier in the program helps K-Train, because that car generally trends loose in most races. You see it sort of fished out a little bit more, but if the track is warmer and slicker and everybody's fighting that problem, it sort of neutralizes the rest of the field and gives a little bit more advantage, I think, to K-Train's ability to get through the center of the corner, which is where that car has been strongest traditionally all season long. He'll back up the field as we get set to go racing one more time. Off on the gas pedal he goes, off and away, but a good jump there for Austin Jones as Brian Sykes Jr. immediately looks to the inside of Christian Joyce and sends him up the racetrack in the south turn.
Big battle out. Christian Joyce getting booted to the rear of the field. It looks like trouble on the number 1. He's had a tough season so far this year. Now he's on the outside, hanging on for dear life as the driver of that number 1.
Almost made contact with Moose Martin. I think got loose out of the corner more than anything else, so Moose might get the spot. Here comes Jordan Atkins, I believe, to the inside as well, looking for a position. And how about Brandon Brown, who had trouble earlier and is trying to rebound Bryant Robertson there, looking for a spot underneath him too.
All eyes are on that battle now as Joyce tries to get from the outside to the inside, but Jordan Atkins is there, getting physical. Off the turn 4 right now are these two drivers going around this track, and the number 1 is loose on the outside.
Absolute dog pile there coming out of the south turn. But here comes K-Train to take the white flag. 1 lap to go for Kevin Gilbert.
He's finished second this year. He's finished third. He's finished fourth. He's finished fifth. A career that has spanned so long. And his 198th career start, the K-Train has done it. He's finally a winner at Bowman Gray Stadium. Congratulations, Kevin Gilbert.
All you need to know is that hand is still out of the driver's side window, and K-Train is all the way back to the north turn. That is how excited Kevin Gilbert is to finally make it to Carolina Wood Floors Victory Lane at Bowman Gray Stadium. This is going to be a very fun interview that Randy Pulliam is about to have.
One of the most beloved wins of the season that we will probably see. Wow. The 119th different driver to win a street stock race. It has taken nearly 200 starts for this veteran, and you see the respect right here, okay? His fellow competitors, the veteran Bryant Robertson in the black number 72 and Moose Martin, giving him a salute. They know how hard Kevin Gilbert has tried. This is a driver that has not always had the best equipment here. This is a very old chassis. He does what he does with the little bit that he has, and tonight he finally gets to clutch and grip that checkered flag, and he's going to go around for some donuts. He's soaking in this victory.
When you work that hard and you work that long for a moment like this, you're going to soak in and take every single moment as he drifts in a little bit there out of the corner and speeds right on in to Carolina Wood Floors Victory Lane.
You know, we've talked about this in the pit area this year about 3 times, Kevin Gilbert and I keep on telling him, hey, man, you keep on running this way with all top 10 finishes, you're going to get the win. Kevin Gilbert, the big winner. Let's go down to Randy Pulliam with our first-time winner.
If you can't tell, pretty excited bunch of folks down here for Kevin Gilbert. He picks up win number 1 in his Bowman Gray Stadium career. Let him hear it as he climbs out of the cockpit, a winner. Kevin, let's head over here to the other side of your car so the folks from all over the country on Flow Racing, they see you up there. Kevin, you've come so close so many times. This has got to feel tremendous.
It's been a long time coming, man. Long time coming. I knew I could do it. I just needed the car to do it in. Thanks to Spencer Martin. I couldn't have done it without him. It's all the thanks goes to Spencer Martin Performance. I got some sponsors to thank. Hold on.
Absolutely.
I ain't good at this. I had to write them down. Dispensary, Alternative Care Center, Garage Doors of the Triad, Mulch and More, Discount Car Depot, Ellis Tire and Auto, Clifton Plumbing, Gilbert Grouse Management, Prevent Sons Plumbing, SMP, and Scotty's Performance Motors. Team No Quit. This ain't all. We're not done.
Kevin, let's go over here and pick up that very first winner's trophy at the Carolina Wood Floors Winners'
It's not
Circle.
cheating if you write your partners down, is it? And I love the preparedness to have those ready to go.
I love the preparedness. I mean, Team No Quit. How about it? The Garage Doors of the Triad, number 13. Fan favorite win tonight. Let's take a break on Flow Racing. We're coming back with the first of Twin Sportsman features. We are back live with the Sportsman Division, and this has been one heck of a division this year, a division dominated by Chase Robertson. But last week was a barn burner, full of a lot of wild moments and a lot of wild excitement.
A lot of fun that was had last week, and there's Tommy Neal getting into it with Kirk Sheets early. When the rain hit, this race ended up being rain shortened at the end of things. And then this was actually the final real piece of racing we had last week. Ryan Robertson and Zach Ortangling, Billy Gregg with nowhere to go, a three-car pileup in the middle of the south turn that brought out ultimately the call 811 did caution that ended this race and gave the victory to Justin Taylor.
And they had quite a conversation afterwards. And Ryan Robertson, you know, Zach Orr said, somebody pushed me into you. Ryan actually told me today that Ryan, he went over to the crowd and asked the crowd, did he get pushed into me or did he get me? And the crowd told him, well, he got him. So that's why Ryan Robertson was so mad. But, hey, tempers flare here on summer nights at Winston-Salem's Bowman Gray Stadium. Let's give you the starting lineup because we are about to double up these cars, go green pretty soon. But let's give you the starting lineup for the first Sportsman race. On the pole, pulling the double tonight from Pocono, it is the Salem Dumpster Services #1 of Daniel Dye to the outside. The #8, the Bark Buddies machine for Kyler Kepley.
Starting in third, the number 55 machine out of Lexington, North Carolina, the Graphic Unlimited machine piloted by Zach Orr. Starting in fourth, the number 37 car out of Poptown, North Carolina, the Nasty Massey detailing machine driven by Chris Massey.
Starting fifth tonight, the Benchmark Solutions number 24 for the Furnace. AJ Burness to the outside, the Pro Choice detailing number 51. It's Austin Taylor.
Starting in seventh, the number 15 machine out of Lexington, North Carolina, the Carolina Cowboys car piloted by T. Dawson. And starting in eighth, number 21 out of Royal Hall, North Carolina, the Alliance Insurance Group machine piloted by the Tiger, Tommy Neal.
Starting in ninth tonight in a car that he traded for. Yes, that's right, with Connor Branch. The number 7 Dylan Ward Race Cars machine for Dylan Ward to the outside last week, scoring his best career finish, the number 38, Mitch Gales.
Final starters in this race, Billy Gregg, Chase Robertson, Sterling Clemens, Ryan Robertson, Chris Taylor, and Donkey Strong Justin Field starts tonight at the rear in 16th.
Getting that first win of the season, and now he starts this week at the tail of the field. 2 cars dropping to the rear. That is T. Dawson and Chris Massey, i.e. Massey. We are about to go green. Daniel Dye slowing up. Kepley kind of out ahead of him. I'm wondering if we're going to get the green flag. We do. Green flag is out for the Sportsman race. Twin 20s.
Trouble immediately before we even get going. AJ Burness got into it with the number 51 machine of Austin Taylor, and that's going to bring out a call 811 before you did caution.
Hands are up in the air. The booth next to us, excited from the carnage. But one driver that is not excited is the driver that red and yellow car. He had nowhere to go. AJ Burness, it looks like a furnace, steaming, possibly getting the radiator. The 51 is upset. He is out of his car, pointing to his head. What are you doing? Burness, the helmet slam by Austin Taylor. Not happy. Slamming his gloves down in frustration.
There was a lot of confusion at that start because we had that stack up at the front between Kyler Kepley and Daniel Dye, and there was just a chain reaction sort of all the way through the field that culminated with Burness and Taylor getting into it in the entry into the south turn.
Pulling in there and talking to his brother, Justin Taylor. Austin Taylor not happy, going back to the gator to get in. Very frustrated is that young race car driver. 1 win here in the street stock division, and now he pulls off and takes the long ride back behind the field house for that family team. AJ Burness, however, the other driver involved, the red and yellow number 24, that is a team that has a volunteer crew member, Ryan, that helps him out on the car, and also his girlfriend, his longtime girlfriend. You'll see over there jacking the car up and working on the car together. Hey, here's the deal. They are playing a little race car Jenga with the tow truck, so we are going to take a quick break on Flow Racing, and we'll come back because, hey, it's only lap 1 of a 20-lap Sportsman race. All the action is in the front windshield. So let's take a break on Flow Racing, and we'll be back at the Madhouse. two family-owned teams getting a tussle, a tangle in the South Turn at the beginning of the Sportsman race. That is A.J. Burness in the red and yellow 24. The 51 right there in the front of your screen, the black and orange car, that is Austin Taylor's Donkey Strong Racing number 51, the pro-choice detailing car. Going to need a little bit of detailing after that little skirmish. Some hot tempers afterwards. Taylor not pleased with the driver of the 24, A.J. Burness. Let's take a look at what happened right here. Burness went in there really hot underneath Tommy Neal, and it's like he didn't get to the brakes in time, and he just hit the back end of the 51, causing him to spin and then striking into the right front of that machine.
Well, there are a lot of factors that went into this, so let's sort of break everything down chronologically and go through it all. We saw the gap that Kyler Kepley and Daniel Dye put on the front end of the field. They got away a little bit faster than everybody else, and that stacked up everybody from about that second, third row on back. And so you had folks like Taylor that were reacting to that. Meanwhile, everybody further back in the field didn't necessarily see that gap develop, so they came into the box in the restart zone in the front stretch as if it were a normal start, and everything sort of came together literally and figuratively right about where Burness and Taylor were. They make contact. We end up with our first call, 811 before you did caution of the evening for the Sportsman division.
Yeah, it's a tough one to call because, you know, everything you can just chalk it up to being a racing incident. You know, that stack up, you're exactly right. That confused the whole field. Some of them probably didn't realize we were going to green.
Right, but
you know, but then if you look at the replay here, just hear me out on this. You got to get to the brakes. He's being pushed also. Let's just make that a note. He is getting pushed by the number 7, it appears, of Dylan Ward. So as it's easy for us in a booth to say, well, he should have got on the brakes harder. Well, he was getting pushed from behind too.
Right. There's also that.
Yeah.
Right. So it's you know, you've got about 5 or 6 things that stack up, and,
Yeah.
and it becomes difficult to. I wouldn't necessarily say to pin anything definitively. All we can do is just sort of explain what happened and cover every angle of this as you get a good look at Zach Orr, the defending champion of the law offices of John Barrow Sports Division. Zach Orr will restart third here when we get back going. Only one lap on the board of 20 for this Sportsman race here at Bowman Gray at the beginning of summer 2025.
Zach Orr, of course, last week trying to run up front there. Speaking of last week, look at this, the number 38, the good guy. The auto supply of Thomasville, number 38 for the Thomasville, North Carolina veteran, Mitch Gales, with his best run of 2025 last week, a 5th place finish. I talked to Mitch when he was sitting in his car before, and he's like, I was really happy with the 5th place finish, but man, I want to run up front and not have it be by attrition like it was last week. And he says he's pretty close. He's liking the improvements that he's had on the 38 week to week here at Bowman Gray Stadium. Lights are still on the Pace truck, Pace SUV, and the yellow flag is still out.
Yellow flag is indeed still out. Track crew just taking a little bit of time to get everything prepped up here, but and also sorting a few cars towards the back of the field, but I would imagine within 2 laps here, as track officials are coming, they're going to pull somebody aside to get the restart order correct, and then we will go. And there's the group of Sportsman drivers working their way through, and they are going to wave everybody on, wave everybody on, wave everybody on, wave everybody on, and they're going to stop, trying to figure out who. They're stopping at Tommy Neal, but not necessarily Tommy Neal, and waiting to sort everybody through. This is sort of how they do it. They'll wait for numbers to be called from the tower, and then they'll point at a certain car and let that car go individually, and that's how we reorganize the field and get a proper starting lineup.
You see Billy Gregg's car right there. You know, Billy Gregg was involved in that incident last week between Ryan Robertson, you know, and Zach Orr, doing some damage to all 3 of those cars. But Billy Gregg working really hard to get that car some speed in that car. He's been down on engine all season long. They've got some things figured out. Billy Gregg is not a guy that runs in the back, and I'll tell you what, it's great to see him back running towards the front.
More work to do here as they sort through this field, and
we are really sorting through the field. You know?
We're sorting. We're sorting.
I'm just going to tell you, you know, for the folks at home, they're like, "What's so difficult?" Let's just lay it out for them. If you're new to Bowman Gray Stadium, there is no electronic timing and scoring. There is a group of hard-working individuals to our left, 2 booths over, that hand score this race. So when the drivers don't like to cooperate of where they're supposed to go, or somebody's saying, "Oh, I was 2 spots ahead of that guy," it gets a little tough. So the officials have to tell the flag man. And right now, Matt Garrison's down on the front stretch doing his best to direct this this group of very hot race car drivers in their machines on a 90-degree day here in North Carolina.
Worth noting here is we get the 1-to-go signal for the flag stand, and sort of an extension of the point that you just made with everything being hand scored at Bowman Gray, that we don't have an electronic timing and scoring, so the running order that you will see on the top bar across the screen, if you're a regular watcher of these Bowman Gray Stadium broadcasts, it is an unofficial running order that is updated by our hard-working folks at NASCAR to make sure that you have the best picture of who is running where, but it is not directly tied to any sort of scoring software like you would see with a lot of the other series that compete either in the NASCAR Advanced Auto Parts Weekly Series or on Flow Racing. So a lot of old school fun that we have here at Bowman Gray Stadium as Jimmy Amsher pulls the modern Chevrolet Pace vehicle into its place in the middle of the north turn, and it will be Daniel Dye looking for win number 2 of 2025, but he's going to get turned before we even get going as Kyler Kepley's got a completely torn up front end of the race car, and this may be a big opportunity for Zach Orr, but we got to call 811 before you dig caution, and this will be interesting to see how Daniel Dye reacts. So Daniel Dye is going backwards through the north turn.
That is a Cale Martin race car, a beautiful race car, and he took him slow out of the turn there like he did kind of the previous restart, and it looked like the 8 was anxious to get to the throttle there. And now Kyler Kepley, you see the number 1 right there, but Kyler Kepley is getting the black flag right now because sheet metal is hanging all off of that Bark Buddies number 8.
As the fans wave at Scott. Important to note here that within the spectrum of rules at Bowman Gray, that if you've got sheet metal dragging like you see on the right side of Kyler Kepley's car, with regards to black flags, that takes precedent over any sort of on-track incident ruling. And if you've got to pull sheet metal, you're going to get a black flag no matter what.
I mean, we've seen it here before. We've seen it at tons of short tracks. I mean, it's a safety issue. But
thing.
Michael Adams, notably last year, lost the points lead on double play points night.
Double play points night, and a disastrous situation for him last year. Let's look at the replay. Dye really slow. The 8 gets to the throttle there thinking he's going to go, and it seems like Dye, when he was getting pushed, almost slowed down even more. It's hard to tell. There's 2 people that know what happened there. Right.
The person in the first place, the person in last place. 2 guys up in the booth really don't know.
But I think more importantly, worth noting that regardless of whether or not race control would deem Kyler Kepley at fault, the black flag was not for his role in that incident, but it was for the sheet metal because of the safety thing, because the safety is the primary concern.
Yeah, 100%.
So that's how
the cookie crumbles.
Yes, that's our call 811 before you get caution breakdown.
That's how the dog snack, the dog treat crumbles. The Bark Buddies number 8 is now behind the field house. Daniel Dye, fresh off of Pocono in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series, rejoins the back of the field. Justin Mincy rejoins us in the booth. He's been out gallivanting, probably fostering, looking to the sky for some more magical stats, is our king of Bowman Gray Stadium statistics. 3 laps on the board. And right now, your leader, he was the 3rd place man, but now the 55, after that misfortune last week, is your race leader. The number 7 is in 2nd place. That's Dylan Ward, not Connor Branch. Connor Branch selling his car to Dylan Ward, trading it with Dylan Ward, and now Connor Branch moves up to the modifieds. The green flag is back out.
This is a very, very fast top 5. These are some of the best drivers in this law offices for John Barrett Sports Division. Look at Tommy Neal trying to go to the inside of Sterling Plemons. Plemons goes up the racetrack at the north turn. The Tiger roars on the inside, gets down to the bottom, and scratches his way up into P3 as Chase Robertson looks to the bottom of Sterling Plemons as the Rockstar tries to hang on, but as it stands, just has a rear bumper full of the East Coast Wings and Grill machine piloted by our 2023 champion, Chase Robertson.
Well, the battle is on for 4th position right now. Robertson to the backside. Oh, some sheet metal moving right there, suggesting his way, shoehorning his way to the bottom is Chase Robertson. Physicality incorporated here at Bowman Gray. Give Robertson P4. Right now as the battle is on for second. Tommy Neal all over Dylan Ward.
Chase Robertson may end up joining that battle quickly if Tommy Neal and Dylan Ward cannot sort it out, because Robertson is moving at this point already, just waltzing away from Sterling Plemons, a spot behind, and he's just about closed up half the gap between Tommy Neal and Dylan Ward. Those two continuing to make contact. Zach Orr getting away by half a straightaway at the front. 8 laps up on the board, coming close to halfway.
The Tiger is prowling in the 3rd position, and a big wreck in turn number 2. Actually, it becomes a 1-car spin. It looked like carnage right before that, but the rock star Sterling Plemons has spun.
Just spun. Not quite sure what the damage is or is not. Ryan Robertson got into him, and Robertson's about to come back to that spot on the racetrack. So
Plemons 4th place in points. This will affect his run this year in the point standings, having to join the rear of the field. A little bit of contact. Things were getting physical between him, like you said, with him and Ryan Robertson and Billy Gregg in that 28. So many battles on the track. I think we need like a triple screen replay here. Let's check it out. We've got it right here on Flow Racing.
Robertson gets into the rear of Plemons. Got a little bit of help, I think, from Billy Gregg as well. Around. So there is also damage to the front end of Ryan Robertson's machine on the splitter as a result of that. When that car comes back around to the front stretch, we'll get a better look at it. But Ryan Robertson picked up a good chunk of damage in that. And as this car pieces its way around, we might get a shout.
Robertson, last week, of course, getting involved in all the fracas. There it is. There's the front splitter damage on the 23. You just saw it there just out of your screen. 10 laps to go. Halfway here. The pace car has pulled off. We're getting ready to go back to green flag racing. Zach Orr leads the field to green. Dylan Ward to the backside. Now the 2 cars jettison out to the front of the field. Tommy Neal caught sleeping a little on that restart.
Tommy Neal did not get off the blocks well. Chase Robertson got off them a little bit better. Contact between Robertson and Neal for the 4th spot. Zach Orr starting to get away from Dylan Ward ever so slightly. It's maybe a car length or 2 as they come out of the south turn, as Chase Robertson continues to put the pressure on. And now look at Tommy Neal to the inside. I don't know what happened there. Did Dylan Ward have an issue or miss the corner or something? Can't tell. There's a mechanical issue with Ward, but Ward slows up, and that gives Tommy Neal the 2nd spot on the racetrack. So, all sorts of trouble there as Zach Orr continues to work his way around. You might have seen just out of the corner, Billy Gregg ended up pulling the car off to the infield. Puts it right by the north turn and is out of this race. In trouble now further for Sterling Plemons in the quarter of the shot.
Sterling Plemons with some issues on his race car, the 03. You see it smoking there. There's your 4th place points man. Now the battle is heating up in front of that. In the 2nd position, Chase Robertson to the backside of Tommy Neal for 2nd position. Tommy Neal hangs on to it with 5 laps to go.
A lot of fans on the front stretch with some arms up, either cheering or hating on one of the 2 drivers involved in this battle for second. Robertson is trying to do everything he can not to move Tommy Neal, but if he wants to win this race, he might not have a choice. We're coming down to it. 17 laps will go up on the board when they come back to the stripe, and Zach Orr, rather, has about a 3 or 4 car length lead. Another nudge in the north turn from Chase Robertson. Zach Orr continues to pace this group.
This is the battle that everybody is looking at. Tommy Neal and the red number 21, Chase Robertson, and the Jerry Hunt Super Centers machine right behind him. A little nudge again, coming to 2 laps to go.
Chase Robertson has had many opportunities to move Tommy Neal. He has elected not to. I wonder if that might be in an effort to not create enemies, which can be just as important here as getting into Carolina Wood Floors victory lane. Zach Orr takes the white flag.
Both cars wrapping the bottom pretty well. One of them wrapping the back bumper of the other, but doing so in a clean fashion. But a few car lengths in front of him sits the red and black number 55, and off of turn number 4, he becomes a 3-time winner in 2025. Zach Orr is the victor.
Zach Orr needed a run like that to tighten up this points battle. He came into this evening a little bit further back. A little bit further back. Which, second in points doesn't necessarily feel that deep, but when you look at it and say 49 points coming into this evening, that's not something you're making up in one weekend, but runs like this help if you can stack them up.
Yeah, it sure does. I mean, Zach Orr getting his 3rd win of the season, 24th of his career, which ties Mark Knott and Steve Clemens for 11th on the Sportsman wins list. Justin Mincy, great job there. Mark Knott, how about that?
Fabulous pull of historic Bowman Gray racing knowledge from Justin Mincy. As always, you see T. Dawson, teammate to Zach Orr, coming on the front stretch to celebrate in Carolina Wood Floors victory lane as well. Randy Pulliam already in position to speak with the winner of our first Law Offices of John Barrow Sportsman Series race of the evening. We'll have another one later, so that'll be a lot of fun. But Zach Orr, the victor with the spoils here to start off our sportsman program evening on night 1,120.
Well, Zach Orr, that 17th place finish midway in this season so far has been the one lone blemish, but that is as bad of a blemish as you could get in this division, and he has got an uphill battle facing him. But tonight he finishes 2 spots ahead of Chase Robertson, gains in the points lead, and gets win number 3. Let's go down to Randy Pulliam, trackside, with the winner.
That bagger chips with the numbers 8, 10, 12, 14, and 16. Keep your eye on the board. That'll determine where Zach will start and how the field will be inverted for race number 2. Zach drew 10th. Zach, let's come around here to the other side of your car so all the folks across the country can see with Flow Racing. Zach, this is a much better interview, I'm sure, than the one you had at pre-race. Great victory, victory number 3. While those two were battling behind you, you just checked out and said, you two go at it.
Yeah, man, we worked really hard this week. My team, they put in many hours. I can't thank them enough. I can't thank my sponsors enough. Cardinal Plumbing, CTC Realty, Jerry Johnson Motors, Pulse Vodka, Colby's Home Improvement, Veterans Renovations. Everybody's come on board Napa. We had a rough week last week, and this makes up for a lot of it.
Well, you drew number 10. Could have been a lot worse than that. It's hard to pull a double, but it's not totally out of the picture tonight.
No, the car's in really good shape. It's hooked up pretty good, so it may be an opportunity for us.
Congratulations on win number 3 in the season, win number 24 in your Bowman Gray career. Let's head over here to the Carolina Wood Floors Winner's Circle to pick up the winner's hardware.
Zach Orr with the win, invert 10 spots for the second sportsman race. We will be back with more racing for the NASCAR Advanced Auto Parts Weekly Series live from Bowman Gray Stadium on Flow Racing.
Are you ready for the fastest, most powerful cars under NASCAR sanction, the Brad's Golf Car Modifieds? You can do better than that. Are you ready for some modified racing? Here is how they'll roll off for 100 laps. 28 cars on the
Welcome back to Flow Racing's coverage of NASCAR Weekly Racing Series action here at historic Bowman Gray Stadium. The Modifieds have entered the racetrack right now, and we are having a 100-lapper, not just anyone, the Market USA 100. And folks, $6,000 bonus on the line tonight. 3 drivers of the 4 that qualified in the top 4 are taking the challenge. The challenge is this: $6,000. The top 4 challengers get to elect to start to the rear. Those drivers tonight: Jason Myers, Lee Jeffries, and Chris Fleming. If one of those drivers or more make it up to the top 4, they get the bonus. Now, if 2 of them do, they split the bonus. If 3 of them finish in the top 4, they split it as well. If nobody wins the bonus, the kitty gets increased by $3,000 next week and would go to $9,000. Folks, it's going to be fun. The Madhouse, it's always fun, but the Fans Challenge makes it even, well, I'll invent a word, funner.
Is that inventing a word?
I think it is.
It's just bad grammar. More fun. More fun, I think, is the answer to that question. So
we'll do the lineup real quick here and start to the lineup here, because we have a record amount of modifieds to introduce tonight. So let's hit it off from the pole. On the pole tonight from Pofftown, North Carolina, the driver of the Pine Tree Tavern, number 5. It's the great Randy Butner. To the outside, the BK Auto Sales, number 64, the rookie Ethan Truel.
Connor Branch out of Louisville, North Carolina, in a green and white number 7 to roll off from the 3rd spot. 4th, originally from Freehold, New Jersey, now residing in Mooresville, the PME Engines, number 57, Big Money Chaser, Danny Bone.
Starting 5th tonight in the QRC, number 10 from Tobaccoville, it's Mike Speeney. To the outside, the S&P Lemonade. Yes, that Slate's Racing Fuel car. The number 6, Slate Myers.
Starting in 7th, the number 39 Old Well Tavern Machine out of Winston-Salem, North Carolina, driven by Gerald Robinson Jr. Starting in 8th, out of Jonesville, North Carolina, the Market USA number 77, piloted by the lovely Susan Harwell.
Starting in 9th tonight in the Polium's Hot Dogs Hayes Jewelers, number 83, it's the Rocket Tim Brown. To the outside, the Tobacco Ridge Machine, the number 9 from Walnut Cove, it's Kyle Southern.
Starting in 11th, out of Walnut Cove, North Carolina, the Redmond Motorsports Marketing number 8, piloted by Darren Redmond. And starting in 12th, the 104.1 machine, the iHeartRadio machine, sponsored by Crazy Kevin Powell out of Winston-Salem, North Carolina. It's Brandon Ward.
Starting in lucky position number 13 from Greensboro, North Carolina, the Myers Racing number 3, it's Andrew Harra. And to the outside from Concord, North Carolina, the Z-Max number 41, it's Farmer Ted Bobby Meismer Jr.
Starting in the 15th position, the number 12 machine out of Winston-Salem, North Carolina, the AAR roofing car, driven tonight by Dean Ward. And starting in the 16th position in the number 69 machine out of Winston-Salem, North Carolina, the Quality Automotive car, driven by Superman John Holloman IV.
Starting 17th, the Quality Roof Solutions, number 14, it's Trey Hutchins. To the outside, the Wagner Appliances, 51 for the Snowman, Junior Snow.
Starting in 19th, out of Curtisville, North Carolina, driving the number 44 Smart Chevrolet machine, it's Daniel Beeson. And starting in the 20th position, it's the 00 out of Monroe, North Carolina, racing for Crossroads Body Shop, it's the Flying Taco, Danny Prost.
Starting in 21st tonight from Walnut Cove, North Carolina, the ace, the driver of the number 1, it's the CitraSafe machine for Burt Myers. To the outside, the garage doors of the Triad, number 07 from Walkertown, North Carolina, it's the real deal, Riley Neal.
Starting 23rd, the number 99 out of Mount Airy, North Carolina, racing for Surrey Chemicals, it's William Crab Smith. And starting in the 24th position here, it is the number 11 machine, piloted by Shannon McGlannery.
Starting 25th tonight, the number 35, Muddy Creek Motorsports machine for Brandon Butner. To the outside, taking the Fans Challenge tonight, trying to get to the top 4, is the driver of the number 4 Carolina Drilling Machine. It's Jason Myers.
Starting in 25th out of East Bend, North Carolina, racing for Muddy Creek Motorsports and Yadkin Valley Aviation, it's Brandon Butner in the 35 and Jason Myers, the working man. Walnut Cove, North Carolina, starts 26. Lee Jeffries will roll off from the 27th spot out of Winston-Salem, North Carolina, racing for Market USA, the number 75. Final car in the starting field, 28th on the grid. It's the showstopper, number 16, Chris Fleming, racing for Hodges Realty and Smith Trucking.
There is the lovely Susan Harwell, one of the likable personalities here in our pit area, making her 204th career start. She's got Market USA on the side of her car. This is a big race for her. Little history about her. Isn't she lovely? First career start, 2001. Best career finish, a 5th place in 2005. The season finale, 150 lapper. Of course, she's the daughter of Alfred Hill, the great Alfred Hill. But what makes her bad to the bone is this. This is a cancer survivor, one of the sweetest people in our pit area, and she was awarded at the banquet this year and brought the house to tears by winning the 2024 Bush Call Award, a cherished award here in Bowman Gray Stadium circles. She is somebody that we respect so much. There's somebody at the front of this field, James Pike, that I also know that you respect highly. One of the great veterans of the sport starting on the pole tonight, Randy Butner in the number 5.
Randy Butner tying a record this evening, the Ironman record. He'll share with Junior Miller this evening, 755 starts at the Bragg Golf Cars Modified Division. Ties Miller for the most ever. He's got 4 wins in the 100 lappers throughout his career. His first one came on June 18th, so this weekend, relative to the rest of the year, in 1994.
That is awesome. Randy Butner, one of the greats here at Bowman Gray Stadium, in the number 5. We salute you, Randy Butner. The leader of the Pop Down Mafia. Kenny Dixon used to have that, but you're not running anymore, buddy. So we got to give it to the driver, the man at Tucker. Beautiful number 5 right there.
Also a good opportunity for us to do a little bit of Triad North Carolina
Yes!
spelling. So spelled P-F-A-F-F-T-O-W-N.
But it's Pufftown.
Yeah, Pufftown.
Because remember, at the beginning of Bowman Gray Stadium on Flow, I would say Pufftown.
Not Pufftown, not Pufftown, Pufftown.
Not Pufftown.
Pufftown, North Carolina.
Well, hey, folks, this is great, too. The front row of this has me excited, okay? Because we all love the history here at Bowman Gray. You've got a veteran on the inside, Randy Butner, and then you have the rookie, the Rook, Ethan Truel, to the outside for this 100-lapper.
Yadkin Valley Aviation and Big B Coffee. Partners aboard the front 2 drivers on this grid who will lead us to green. And the Market USA 100 is 11th career start this evening for Ethan Truel in that Big B Coffee machine.
Big tires, big headers, big hearts. 600 horsepower percolating under the hood. Chrome flashing under the lights here at historic Bowman Gray Stadium. These are the drivers that live by the grace of God and 600 horsepower. And out of the north turn, the Market USA 100 is green.
And Ethan Truel was dirt tracking it on the outside of Randy Butner before we even got going, but he gets a great launch off the back straightaway, and Ethan Truel will go to the point. Danny Bone looking to the outside. Oh, big north turn nudge there from Butner to get back underneath Ethan Truel, but he slides into the grass off the corner. Won't be able to complete the pass.
What action here at the front of the field at the start of this 100-lapper. Now Danny Bone trying to do it the hard way. Round the outside, round the outside.
Randy Butner with a good drive, though, through the center of the corner and on exit. Will Danny Bone lock in a line? Yes, he will, just in front of Mike Speeney, fighting for title. And look at that. How about Tim Brown? We haven't seen him necessarily up near the front of the field so much to start off this campaign, but Tim Brown already up to the 5th spot. This could be a big night for him.
100 laps for the NASCAR Brad's Golf Cars Modifieds tonight. Double file restarts. Choose cone restarts as well. But right now, up front, it's the rookie in the Big B Coffee machine, the 64 of Ethan Truel, leading the way early on in this one.
Yellow flag out, though, for Crabsmith. That car is coming to a rest. About maybe 2/3 down the back straightaway at Bowman Gray. We get our first yellow, our first breather of the evening, and Ethan Truel got to the point early and has led every lap so far.
Ethan Truel leading the way in the 100-lapper. A little bit of 100 history here from Justin Mincy. 100-lap modified races are a tradition here at the Bowman Gray Stadium, and 202nd one tonight. 46 different winners. Check this out, Pike. The first one ever, June 26th, right about now, 1954, won by Bobby Myers. His great-grandnephew, I guess you would say, his grandnephew, Burt Myers, winner of the last 100-lap race in May. 100-lap races have been dominated by the Myers, including the leader of the all-time 100s list. That is Burt Myers with 28.
Burt Myers going for even more history this evening as well, by the way. Worth noting that Burt has just about claimed all the records, but there's still one, I guess, technically left to go for, right?
No, I mean, he is on top of the all-time wins list, but he is tied right now on the all-time modified list of wins with Tim Brown with 101, but 102 career wins for Burt Myers because of his sportsman win and his lone start. But Burt Myers right now marred about 15th or so in the field. All eyes are on the front of this field as we're about to take the green flag again. The fans raise to their feet. The rookie Truel on the inside. First to the loud pedal. Randy Butler on the outside. Can he jam his number 5 down to the bottom? No, he can't. Here comes Danny Bone in the red and black, number 57.
Danny Bone making quick work of Randy Butler to get into the second spot. Butler will drop down to the inside in front of Mike Speeney. Tim Brown trying to work the high line. Did not get a good run out of the corner. Nothing yet. They are double stacked there in the middle as Brown just about chopped Slate Myers' nose off, but he'll lock down that 5th position. Slate Myers working to 6. How about Bobby Meismer won a few weeks ago, trying to get to the inside of Kyle Southern for 7th or 8th ballpark. So there goes Ethan Truel to the front. Danny Bone starting to put the pressure on Truel for the race lead. Randy Butler waiting for an opportunity to strike. If the front two get into it, Mike Speeney there in 4th.
Here comes your points leader. Making his way through the field is Brandon Ward, right behind Farmer Ted, the number 41 Z-Max Race Products car. Truel, though, up front. Some side-by-side racing throughout the field right now. Double box to show you as much as we can right behind that side-by-side Junior Snow to the bottom of Southern's number 9 machine. The pink and black car making his way through the field. And the battle is on for the lead as well. Pressure on the young rookie who's holding a pretty wheel at the front.
It was a ferocious battle a little bit further back between Kyle Southern and Junior Snow. They're single file for the most part amongst, call it, the top 8, but this battle for 9th by a good margin. The best battle on the racetrack, which for now, Southern will win.
I love the double box. The double box makes me smile when there's all sorts of things happening here because, you know, the big criticism of television is always, hey, why do you show all the leaders? Well, if they're bumper to bumper, it's hard to show anything else. But, you know, with the double box from time to time, we get to show you some more love. So great job from our folks back in Charlotte. Now the full field of a record field this year of 28 modifieds are single file around the famed quarter mile.
At this point in the race, outside of maybe Danny Bone and Mike Speeney, drivers are largely beginning to settle in and start working to individually pick off cars. Riley Neal making a move a little bit further back for a spot there. Good dive. Look at the move there underneath Daniel Beeson to pick up the spot. But up front, not too many people really forcing the issue, though. Pair contact in the middle of the north turn. And now look at Mike Speeney going to the inside, trying to get a spot from Randy Butler.
Speeney battling for the 3rd position. The black number 10 on your screen. The number 5 now on the outside. The Iron Man on the outside. The guy that's used his iron on the front bumper a lot this year now moves into 3rd position. Give it to Speeney.
Speeney with another strong top 5 run. Trouble, though, further back in the field.
Oh.
2 cars stopped. Lee Jeffries won.
Darren Redmond, I believe, would be the other in the number 8 machine.
And caution out on lap 18, presented by Call 811 before you dig. Part of the great. You see a good look at the scoreboard setup here at Bowman Gray Stadium. Big part of the 2005 renovations here at Bowman Gray.
Let's take a look at this replay here and see what happened. Redmond looks like he just spun on his own, got in there really hot on the outside and spun on his own.
It's a good job to catch it the way that he did.
Now he's on the outside. I think he's trying to get to the pit area. Not a lot of room to get by there. This is a tight place here. You see Junior Snow behind him possibly going to the pit area as well.
Trying to work on these cars here. Looks like they're trying to give a shove to Connor Branch's number 7 machine, that trade-off, I guess.
Yeah, so Connor Branch right there was 4th in the points in the sportsman division, okay? And he gave away, you know, his 4th in the points position, traded a car, his sportsman car, for this car right here, owned by Dylan Ward, okay? So Dylan Ward was in his sportsman car tonight. They traded cars. That's kind of cool, like trading baseball cards when you're a kid. And now Connor Branch making his way in the modified division, you know, taking his first laps last week around the famed quarter mile in that 600 horsepower open wheel machine. And right now you see they're putting out a little bit of a fire on that number 7. I'll tell you what, he's been smooth watching him in practice. You could see first time in practice, he was getting to the throttle so darn quick in the turn. Maybe not used to driving a modified. You'd get to the throttle a little earlier in a sportsman car. You see Connor is out of his car, and okay, the young race car driver there, second generation driver. To Taylor Branch, of course, his father, one heck of a wheelman here at Bowman Gray Stadium.
So fire getting put out on Connor Branch's machine as they work on that. We'll take a quick commercial break, and we'll be back with more coverage of the Market USA 100 for the Brad's Golf Cars, Modifieds, and the NASCAR Advanced Auto Parts Weekly Series here at Bowman Gray Stadium live on Flow Racing.
Summer sunsets here at Bowman Gray Stadium. It doesn't get anything more beautiful than seeing that over the historic confines here. You know, there's no better view than being in the booth here with my buddy James Pike and Matt Strickard and Justin Mincy. But, you know, sitting in the stands, sometimes I do really miss that experience.
It's a great shot coming out of turn 2. You see skies that are a little bit lighter now than they would be as you get a good look at Burt Myers' machine. But again, the longest day of the year, the first day of summer here in the Northern Hemisphere, and we've got a little bit more sunlight, but deeper into this program.
The number 1 is in 10th position for you Burt Myers fans right now, you know, that are tracking what your favorite driver is doing as Junior Snow and John Holloman IV are going to the pit area to get service on their race car. The number 1 of Burt Myers, winning 4 times this season. And I'll tell you this, something Mincy and I had a nerd day the other day. Okay, and we were looking at nerd day, which means we were just studying history together. You know, there's only been a handful of drivers that have ever done 5 race weeks in a row with wins. Curtis Turner, 1950, Ralph Brinkley in 74, Paul Radford in 82, Johnny Johnson in 1989, and Junior Miller in 1993. If Burt Myers can visit Victory Lane tonight for the 5th edition in a row, he could join that group. Something he's never done.
That's hard to find here, but things that Burt Myers have not done,
yes.
or has not done at Bowman Stadium,
Choose cone.
You got to dig a little bit. So looking at the choose here, Danny Bone and Mike Speeney and Tim Brown all go to the outside. Ethan Truel, Randy Butner down low. Slate Myers goes up top.
Tim Brown took the top. Tim Brown was 5th, and instead of choosing the bottom, he chose to follow Mike Speeney, his cousin there, on the outside. Interesting choice by the driver of the Jerry Hunt Super Center, number 83, with Jeff Day at the helm. But Danny Bone to the outside for this choose cone restart. Ethan Truel on the bottom, 24 laps on the scoreboard. Coming to lap 25, side by side. Open wheels, Nerf bar to Nerf bar, slamming themselves into the south turn.
How does this shake out now that Danny Bone's got some clear track position, but he's got that outside line to work through and work around? Both the leaders sliding all over the place. So Bobby Meismer Jr. just about got caught 3 wide between Brandon Ward and Slate Myers, a little bit further back in the top 10. Bone, though, still hanging tough on the outside in the races that he loves the most. He is a 100-lapper specialist looking for the top spot here against Ethan Truel.
What a display of sportsmanship. What a display of racing. The hard-charging, ferocious nature of Bone on the outside and doing it clean on the inside. The rookie, not much experience in a modified, but these drivers are putting on a show here at the stadium. All you people that say side-by-side racing doesn't happen here, phooey, you're watching it here on Flow Racing.
Not too much contact between these two. A little bit of wheel contact there, though, off the corner as they are really hanging it out there. That's how hard it is to get the power down correctly, because you have to roll into the throttle here because you've got no banking to support you as there's a spin and a crash further back in the field. And that should bring out, and does bring out, the call 811 before you did caution. And Jason Myers is one of the machines involved, one of our drivers that took the fans' change. Now going to go back towards the rear of the field for being involved in the yellow.
And then Sir Gerald Robertson on the outside. Gerald Robinson, tongue twister right there.
That's me giving you one back for about the 5 that I have already, yeah.
That's all, folks, Porky Pig says. And 39 is in the wall right there. The window net is down for Gerald, a great competitor here in so many divisions, including demolition derbies back in the day. Gerald, one of the hardest working guys in our pit area, pitting alongside Junior Snow, working alongside that family in the pit area behind the field house. But it looks like his night is done. Jason Myers, who took the fans' challenge in the spin in the grass, bringing out that yellow flag. And boy, I didn't want to see that, Pike, because what we were watching up front was just amazing, skillful display of racing, both drivers.
Yes, what was good racing. Also worth noting that it is lap 31 of 100, and so there's not necessarily incentive to go 110% now that there will be later in this race. But no, they're just racing hard. Right?
I mean, that was amazing, dude.
It was great. It was great. I won't disagree. But I think it's also a testament to how difficult it is to get around this racetrack, too. That you see this sliding the rear end from both of them, because we saw it from Bone and from Truel both. But that's just how difficult it is to get off the corner of Bowman Gray, because you don't have any banking to lean into whatsoever. So it really is, especially when you've got a really high power to weight ratio, the way that these modifieds, the Brad's Golf Cars Modified Series have, all of your corner exit is based upon how you roll back into the throttle.
So when the yellow came out, the 57 is now ruled your leader. So he will be the first car that gets to choose here. Ethan Truel relinquishes that lead. But, you know, have you ever been maybe, I don't know, going to a Panthers game, okay? And you've got about 20, 30,000 people, and you're going up and down the stairs, and you're rounding the corners, going up another flight and another flight, and you got people right next to you, and you're sandwiched in there. And you're just trying as hard as you can to not touch the other person. Now, think of that strapped inside a rocket ship. Jet fighters in a gymnasium around the tight confines here, side by side. The inside driver trying to hug and wrap the bottom, that gray, light gray curve there with the turtles that will upset your car. And then the guy on the outside, when he drifts off the turn, having a sheet of loose leaf paper basically between he and the wall as he exits. It's a dance like a ballerina in such a rough way.
I can't follow up with that explanation because it was so good.
Well, I appreciate that. You didn't have to compliment me. Sometimes I'm a donkey, but
no. That's Justin Taylor.
That's just yeah, that is true.
That's Justin Taylor.
That's just textbook of what modified racing is and should be. You know, the guy on the bottom, not sitting there and boogering into him or anything like that. The guy on the top is fighting for dear life on the outside where the grip is minimal. And you're just talking about what's so great about the sport of short track grassroots auto racing. And we're up here in a booth, okay? We're paid to do this. If not, I'd be sitting in the stands just like everybody else here. And this is just special to watch something like that. And it's great to see a young rookie like Ethan Truel, developing in front of our eyes. Somebody that could move on in the sport or could be one of the veterans maybe that we're talking about 15, 20 years from now in the modified division. It's something special to see.
You made a lot of really great points in there, but my mind is still processing the use of the word boogering into somebody. For as much as you talk about new vocabulary,
Okay.
that is a new word.
I've been saying that for 4 years, man. You got to listen to me. It's one of my favorite terms. When you go in there and you flick a booger at him, that's what he's doing. He's going into there, and he's not being clean. Picking your nose is not clean. So you don't want to booger into the guy top side. I know, I'm special. I'm sure I'll hear it on Facebook. What is Dillner saying again?
I'm glad you explained
Choose.
that.
Look at that choose right there. Truel taking the bottom. Unbelievable there. And to the top is Mike Speeney. This is Speeney's chance. The guy who led the point standings for such a long time at the beginning of the season before faltering on the double points night. Green flag is back out on lap 36.
We go back to racing hero contact up at the front of the field as Ethan Truel got into Mike Speeney, and Truel will maintain the second spot. Randy Butner trying to get underneath Tim Brown for a fourth. More contact between Truel and Speeney. Speeney will have all the clear room on the top side. Contact with Tim Brown. Randy Butner goes into the grass and is going to loop it around. And Chris Fleming is at the fence, and Jason Myers just spun around. And the call 8-1 before you did caution will come out once again.
Yellow flag is out, and the 16 is in the wall. Fleming is in the wall. In the grass again. That was a stack up that was caused by Truel getting a little loose, and then what happened there knocked some grass onto the track, and all the cars got upset and squirgly coming on turn number 4, which kind of stacked up people even more and led to what we saw there.
I guess it was squirgly.
Not
boy. Squirgly.
Man, it's one thing that Facebook picks on me, but yeah, I'm just kidding. You can pick on me all you want, brother. I love you.
You're creating words, but it gives it color.
It's a vocabulary. Here it is, a Truel front bumper right there. But I'm telling you, a lot of those guys got sideways behind them with the grass knocked up in the track. There goes Butner making the Ironman start tonight. And you see the grass right there? Oh, we just about saw it. The grass was knocked up onto the track. The choose cone is out. And we are doing the choose right now. There was a little confusion. Danny Bone goes to the inside, what most leaders will do. Second place, rookie, going to the bottom, the safe route. The Speeney family connection with Tim Brown on the outside.
Also of note, Jason Myers and Chris Fleming were 2 of the 3 drivers that took the Fans Challenge to start this race. They both were involved in that most recent call 811 before you did yellows. So just about everybody in that bunch towards the back of the field. Highest running driver after the choose is Lee Jeffries, who is scored in the 11th position coming to this restart that will come on lap 36 or 8, depending on how the scoreboard shakes out, of 100. Green flag back out.
Oh,
Will that hold? There's the yellow flag. So good call on that, Dillner.
This is the cat and mouse game at Bowman Gray. The leader has to be the first to the throttle. That is the only real rule there. You have to restart in a zone, but the leader has to be the first one to fire. And Danny Bone was definitely dragging there. That's a game, sportsmanship, gamemanship. See what happens here. Both drivers fire at the same time. Emerald flag flies here at the stadium. In the south turn, it's Bone to the bottom.
Bone, Speeney, Brown, 1, 2, 3. Brown got a great jump on the outside to clear Ethan Truel, who just got punted through the north turn just about by Farmer Ted. Bobby Meismer Jr. getting into the back of Truel. That allows Brandon Ward to go to 4th. Slate Myers trying to work the top side to get 5th. Burt Myers 6th. Stack up further back on the racetrack. No yellow flag just yet. Contact up front between Speeney, and then they pile up in the north turn. And now we have a call 811 before you did caution.
Massive pile up in the north turn. Massive pile up. Slate Myers is involved. Truel, who was in second. Bobby Meismer Jr. in it as well. Junior Snow. Susan Harwell, the number 8 of Redmond. Burt Myers, your second place points man, was in it as well as Riley Neal and the number 16 of Chris Fleming, and I believe the number 9 of Kyle Southern.
No doubt, just looking at it right back, Riley Neal got the worst of that. The left front suspension on his car is completely torn up. He will almost certainly be going to the pits to try and get that car fixed up. That could be day done for Riley Neal, depending on how bad the damage is.
Yeah, Riley Neal with some, you see it right there, the garage doors of the Triad, number 07. Big damage, flat tire for sure, but I believe that could be a tie rod maybe on the left front. It's hard to tell.
That's a lot
with
of
that
pieces.
tire.
It's a lot of pieces
with
they're
that
gonna have
tire
to get fixed
down.
up.
Yep. But with these modifieds, at least it's a lot of bolt-on parts. So who knows if we get a long green flag run, yellow flag here. Here it is, the replay. Oh, it looked like Truhl got into Slate Myers there, and then just a stack up. Nowhere to go for some of these drivers. Oh my God, Zach Taylor is here with Little Donuts, and tonight his mom and dad, they've got the great kettle corn stand. We get to try some kettle corn tonight. This is like a fair here at Bowman Gray Stadium. If you've never been here, I know you listen to Big Man here talk about damn donuts all the time because Little Donuts rocks. So all you haters out there, just buy you a bucket. It's awesome. Come here to Bowman Gray, sit your butt. Here in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, racing around a football field, a carnival atmosphere. There is a 75 car of Lee Jeffries who took the fans' challenge and is trying to get his way up to the front of the field, now sitting in the 5th position, 1 spot out of the fans' challenge top 4.
Lee Jeffries, the big beneficiary of that. Also worth noting,
yes,
that for our friends at Winston-Salem and part of the complex of facilities here, that you'll also see Little Donuts at the Carolina Classic Fair later on, end of September, beginning of October this year.
Oh, yeah. It's also worth noting we're being refreshed tonight thanks to S&P Lemonade. Of course, they've got a new Kepley flavor. Kyler Kepley, the dog, and also have a Slate Myers flavor. But so many, we talk about these people because they support racing. The choose cone is out, though, folks, so let's talk about who's choosing what there.
So, Danny Bone inside, Mike Sweeney outside. Row 1. Row 2, Tim Brown on the bottom, and Brandon Ward up top. Row 3, Lee Jeffries at the bottom. John Holloman with a nice rebound after being involved in an incident earlier. Going to pit road, he'll start in 6th. The Flying Taco, Danny Probst and Randy Butner restarting 7th and 8th. Jason Myers will restart 9th. Farmer Ted, Bobby Measmer Jr. will start 10th as we come to the green flag, lap 45, coming to 46 of 100 in this Market USA 100 lap race for the Brad's Golf Cars Modified Series. Bone Dirt tracks it. Clean start, though. Off we go. Bone may be clear there. A little bit of contact between Ward and Mike Sweeney that allows Tim Brown to get to the inside. This may be Tim Brown's best opportunity to get a Carolina Wood Floors victory lane that he's had all season long. He has struggled to get this kind of track position, but he is fighting for it underneath Mike Sweeney as they go back to the south turn.
Brother-in-law versus brother-in-law, side by side, down the east straightaway, heading into turn 3 and 4. Sweeney does it from the outside. I think a little bit of sportsmanship there on a long race by the great veteran, Tim Brown.
Ethan Truhl has pulled his machine into pit road, so a tough break for the driver that had been running top 5 before that call 811 before you did caution flag. Meanwhile, Danny Bone starting to escape everyone at the front of this field, and Brandon Ward beginning to pressure Tim Brown for the 3rd position on the racetrack.
Single file around the famed quarter mile, halfway in this Market USA 100, halfway. Danny Bone, your leader. Mike Sweeney in 2nd. Tim Brown in 3rd. Brandon Ward, your points leader, up to 4th. Lee Jeffries, 5th. John Holloman, the 4th. After that, Randy Butner, Bobby Measmer, Slate Myers, and Burt Myers.
Fans Challenge update. Chris Lemon currently running 16th in the 16th. Jason Myers currently scored 12. Work to do for them. Lee Jeffries, though, right on the edge of potentially winning that $6,000 bonus if he can get around Brandon Ward, who himself is continuing to put even more pressure on Tim Brown for the 3rd position as Mike Sweeney is starting to reel in Danny Bone. Sweeney's car handling a little bit better under a slightly extended green flag run than Bone's, and he started to close that gap down from 2 car lengths down to maybe about 1.
Danny Bone was here last week with that red and black S&R Motors number 57. Okay, he had 300 lap tires on his car in practice. He practiced with those tires here this weekend as well, bolting on this set for the race. So had no realistic way to know how this car would handle. So great job tonight. He's at the point right now, the New Jersey native and 3rd generation driver.
Starting to work their way into lap traffic. Crab Smith is about maybe 3. Call it 2, now call it 1. Car lengths up the racetrack. It's the blue flag with a yellow stripe begins to be displayed by some of the drivers running towards the back end of the field, but it may cause some battles for the race lead up front. Speeney almost looked to the inside of Bone, while they'll both work to the outside of Smith.
You know, you're looking at that red 57 that's leading the way. You see S&R Motor Company on the back of it. And a big shout out tonight to our good friend, Puddin' Swisher, Melvin Puddin' Swisher, a longtime competitor here in the modified ranks at Bowman Gray Stadium and other divisions as well. He is watching live on Flow Racing, rooting on to see that S&R Motor car at the front of this field. And maybe, oh maybe, will he revisit Victory Lane?
This is the battle on the racetrack, though. Third, fourth, fifth. Brown, Ward, Lee Jeffries. Fans challenged on the line for Jeffries. Ward trying to continue to extend his points lead over Burt Myers, who has been working his way back up through the field, but still has a few spots behind this group here. Burt Myers unofficially, by my quick math, I believe 10th on the racetrack as it stands.
But up front, it is all Bone and Speeney. The 75 car on the cusp of the fans' challenge. Lee Jeffries in the 5th position. Speeney now reeling in the 57. 61, Richie Evans laps on the board. Now 62. Speeney peeking to the inside as Bone gets a little loose out of turn 2.
Speeney's car is handling better than Bones the longer this green flag run goes. No doubt about it. So if you're Speeney, how much do you force the issue to try and get to victory lane? How much do you force the issue to try and get back into the points battle a little bit? Not excessively far back of Brandon Ward, but a win would help a lot to really tighten this up. But a call 811 before you dig caution flag is out on the racetrack. Cars slowing down. Jimmy Absher has got the modern Chevrolet Pace vehicle back on the racetrack, and the track crew going over towards the apex of turn 4 in the north.
Grass on the track. I've been watching that for about 10 laps. Crab Smith got into the grass a little bit, kicked some up on the racetrack. You know, these turtles, do you see the light gray on the bottom there of the racetrack? The turtles, you know, and then you have the grass. And a lot of guys are starting to float those cars over the turtles more and more and more. And when they do that, they get a little lower and then a little lower. And then next thing you know, they're in the grass. And when they hit the grass and the dirt, it shoots it up on the racetrack and it makes the exit of the corner treacherous.
A little bit spooky, to say the least.
Here's Jimmy Brown, the hard-working race crew here at Bowman Gray Stadium. And, of course, Mike Speeney, who is in 2nd place. You know, the last few weeks have been tumultuous for Mike Speeney. You know, last 4 finishes, 17th, that double points night that really hurt him, took him out of the points lead. Then the next week after that, 10th. Then the next week after that, 12th. Last week, of course, the winner, QRC night. Last week, 2 weeks ago, actually, because last week they didn't run modifieds. But the number 10 trying to get his way back up to the front of this modified field that he once led in the point standings.
Had the consistency, lost the consistency, which means there's really only one realistic remedy long-term to fix that, and that is go out and get some wins. So there's a need for him to go get this checkered flag in a way that is not the case if you might be a Burt Myers or Brandon Ward, right?
You know, you're absolutely right, and this is a guy that wants checkered flags. That's a good point. This is a guy that isn't usually a, hey, let's run points races. But right now, he's got the guys in front of him in the standings in his mirror. So that's a good thing, too, even if he finishes 2nd. Choose cones out. Speeney goes to the top. The 83 to the bottom. To the top on the 2nd row will be Brandon Ward, your points leader.
All that being said, for as much as Danny Bone's car struggled on the long run, this opportunity to cool the tires down, I think, will be a huge, huge benefit to the New Jersey native, originally a Freehold, now residing in Mooresville, and chases these big races. The 100 lappers, the twin 50s. That's what Danny Bone runs the best in as Jimmy Absher pulls the modern Chevrolet Pace vehicle off. We'll get the restart on lap 57.
57 rockets to the lead. Will the rocket fill in the hole behind them? Or will Speeney battle on the outside. That is the battle on the track right now. Speeny trying to hold on to the valuable second place. He's on the outside of his brother-in-law. Said cousin before, that was my bad. 83 on the bottom, preferred way around the track. He gets to the gas, and, well, it looks like a little more sportsmanship there as well.
Got a little bunt there from Tim Brown, I think, to make that easy as the drivers come across the stripe. Quick correction, lap 70 now, so 30 laps to go in this Market USA 100. Bone with a great jump. The short run speed on his black and red machine is just exceptional. There's no doubt about it. He's been able to gap Mike Speedy by about maybe half a straightaway, maybe just a little bit less than that. Then single file pretty much all the way through the rest of the field at this point. But we know that'll change. Contact further back between Bobby Meismer Jr. and Slate Myers. Burt Myers checked up just in front of them.
Yeah, we were looking at Burt Myers there, and that erupted there. Good job by those drivers to save that vehicle. And there is all sorts of action right now. You see the number 4 car there, the Danny Probst 00. Bobby Meismer's number 41. His car owner, Kevin Hughes, and I had a little Pulliam's hot dogs today. In front of that battle is the number 1 of Burt Myers. That's the car I'm looking at right now, is Burt Myers. He's got a little damage on the front bumper of that famed orange bumper, number 1, but he looks to be coming through the field right now. He's behind the 5 of Randy Butner in the 7th or 8th position right there.
Continuing to try and work over Randy Butner. Not really much of a battle yet, but as the short run speed is faded on Danny Bone's car, Mike Speeny is starting to reel in that leader. And so we may have 2 battles here for position before too long.
Oh, yeah. Speeny has reeled in the leader. Burt Myers is all over the back bumper of the number 5 car of Butner. We're keeping an eye on both battles right now. The battle is heating up front. A quarter left, less than a quarter now, 24 coming to 23 laps to go in the Market USA 100. Danny Bone is your leader, but now the chrome horn to the backside of the I-beam from Mike Speeny.
Mike Speeny starting to work over Bone big time. There's a big shove in the north turn to try and loosen up Danny Bone. They continue to fight. Brandon Ward also closing in on Tim Brown, by the way, but a call 811 before you did caution coming out last we saw.
Andrew Hara had some damage to the right rear. A Nerf bar rub on the right rear tire, smoke billowing from it. The caution flag has been displayed again. Danny Bone likes to see that because you made a great point. Short run speed seems to be. We get about 8 laps or so into the run, the 10 was reeling him in.
So Mike Speedy does not want to see any more cautions. He would be thrilled if this race went green the rest of the way, but that's certainly not a guarantee here.
What is a guarantee?
That's fair. That's very fair, right? So Mike Speedy, Danny Brown have been classed in this field. Tim Brown, I wonder if Tim has been saving something for about this stint of the race. A lot of these drivers talk about in a 100 or a 200 lap race, it's about that 25 to 20 lap to go mark that you really start pushing the issue, as Hara will bring that car with the tire up into the work area. But it's about this time of the race that drivers usually start going. I know I talked to Riley Neal before the 200, and he said it was about 170, 175 that he was thinking of going then back in April. So if there are drivers towards the front that have been saving a little something, I would suspect we're going to start seeing whatever they've saved when we go back to green flag racing in the next few laps. Also of note here, before we go back to green, Lee Jeffries still hanging on just on the edge of the top 4, just on the edge of $6,000. If any of the leaders get into it and he get into the top 4, he will potentially pick up 4 figures and change.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I know Lee Jeffries. If he wins that $6,000 bonus, we're going to Wahlberg Pizza Grill to have some salt and pepper catfish now.
Well, you're going to make me hungry.
Caution laps are counting, just to let you know. Of course, a reminder, no live timing and scoring. You like salt and pepper catfish? That's my favorite thing at Wahlberg Pizza Grill. They got good pizza, but like I'm a pizza snob. I'm a fan of the catfish.
It's one of those classic Greek-owned restaurants where there's a variety of things in the menu.
Everything's good.
And a lot of really good stuff, too.
Well, here we go. We're coming back to green. The modern Chevrolet Pace vehicles pulled into the end zone here. 81 coming to lap 82 on the board. Particular on the restart, and first to fire is Danny Bone, but now side by side they soar into the south turn. Bone on the inside, the 10 car of Speeny on the outside. Side by side they go. Speeney follows into the bottom now, side by side behind them. Brandon Ward on the outside, your points leader. Outside of the Rocket, Tim Brown.
Contact between Ward and Brown for the third position. Don't look now, but Burt Myers is working his way to the outside. He just cleared Lee Jeffries for a spot, trying to get John Holloman for the fifth position here as Myers continues his climb up the leaderboard, and Brandon Ward is just going to hang on to that third position as Mike Speeney continues to press Danny Bone for the race lead.
It's a full-out assault for the race lead right now. Bone dirt tracks it out of turn number 4. Speeney now painting the back bumper of the 57. The fans are on their feet because we know it's go time here for the Market USA 100. Bone protecting the bottom.
The New Jersey native and the Pennsylvanian going after it. 2 Northeastern drivers pacing the field, and the Madhouse down south. Bone did not get a great drive through the corner of the south turn last time. Mike Speeney again puts the bumper to Danny Bone, and this time he gets a door open on the inside.
That's what we call a shoehorn. A shoehorn to the inside. Nerf bar to nerf bar. Contact. Speeney to the lead. Here comes Brandon Ward to the bottom, almost putting a wheel in the grass. Give him the second position coming out of the north turn.
How many times have we seen this movie before this season where Brandon Ward has not necessarily been in the battle, and then late in the going, he makes his appearance known at the front of the field. Ward running as high as he has all night long, up to second here, working our way to lap 89, coming to 10 laps to go.
For the second time tonight, the 5 car of Randy Butner goes for some donuts in the grass here at Bowman Gray Stadium, coming 11 laps. It'll be 10 laps to go. Folks, remember this too. We got to go back to caution pretty quickly here. Here is why. With 5 laps to go, we go to single file restarts. So the race control up here will do their diligence to try to get everybody lined up really quick.
Randy Butner, I think, had help.
Yeah, he wasn't too happy, it looked like, with
Slate Myers.
Yeah. I've seen Butner and the Myers go at it before. My first night here, actually, ever.
755 times, right?
If you race here 755 times, you're going to have it out with A. Myers at some point.
You're going to have it out with everybody at some point, I'd say, right? So,
oh, man.
Not to say, in fairness, though, to Randy, I can think of few drivers in the garage who are more respected than Randy. Everybody respects Randy because Randy is not one to put the bumper intentionally to people too many times. As the lights are off the modern Chevrolet Pace vehicle. Brandon Ward now to the high line. Mike Speeney will start at the bottom. Tim Brown goes up top. Burt Myers goes up top. Danny Bone, John Holloman to the inside. Lee Jeffries, 4th car on the inside. Bobby Meesmer Jr. will restart 8th. 9th, Slate Myers. 10th, Jason Myers. Daniel Beeson, Chris Fleming, Kyle Southern, Danny Bone, Randy Butner, last car up top. Riley Neal, Ethan Truel, Darren Redmond, Susan Harwell, Crab Smith, and Andrew Hara. Here we go.
Business picking up as the modifieds hit the green flag. Ward files into the bottom, right behind Speeney. These 2 drivers pit next to each other behind the north turns. Great field house you see on your screen right now. Battle is on for 3rd position.
Danny Bone looking to the inside of Tim Brown. Tim Brown with a good drive off of the corner out of turn 4. He will just clear Danny Bone. Here comes Burt Myers working to the outside, trying to get 4th away from Bone.
Myers on the outside, putting on a display of driving here on the outside of the number 57, trying for the 4th position, and he gets it down the east straightaway.
Burt Myers up to 4th, this time by 5 fingers from the flag stand. 5 laps to go for Mike Speeney, who's opened it up by about a car length and a half on Brandon Ward. Burt Myers now working the rear bumper of Tim Brown. The rivalry of rivalries at Bowman Gray now front and center for the 3rd position.
The 2 GOATs now in 3rd and the 4th position. 100 laps is the distance that we are running tonight. Now coming around to 3 laps to go. Can Speeney hang on? Can we stay green? That's the question here at the Madhouse.
Myers continuing to pepper the rear bumper of Tim Brown's machine. Loose through the corner is Burt Myers, still sitting on 101 wins.
Modified
in the
wins,
modified division, right? Tied there. Has the 1 sportsman win to make it the all-time leader, but tied on the modified division. If he can find a way to get around 3 cars, he could change that history, but we're coming to the white flag, and Mike Speeney's cleared by 2 car lengths.
Speeney now stretching out that lead. The race fans still watching that battle for 3rd. but clear sailing ahead for the driver of the QRC number 10 machine. The Market USA 100 goes to Pennsylvania's Mike Speeney. Speeney does it, his second win of the season.
And his third career win in the modifieds here at the famed quarter mile. The Madhouse, Bowman Gray Stadium tonight belongs to Mike Speeney, who wins the Market USA 100. We did not have a Fans Challenge winner, by the way. Everybody who elected to go for it just a little bit too far back to claim the $6,000 bonus. That will roll over into our next Fans Challenge race.
Lee Jeffries finishing 7th. He was your top Fans Challenge driver. Mike Speeney wins over Brandon Ward. 3rd for Tim Brown. 4th for the number 1 of Burt Myers. Then the 57 of Danny Bone, followed by John Holloman and the 75.
How about this first stat from Justin Mincy? Mike Speeney has tied James Zavali, Mark Knott, Lee Petty, and David Pearson, a pair of NASCAR Hall of Famers with 3 career wins now at Bowman Gray Stadium. Not bad company to keep.
Yeah, how about that? Mike Speeney, one of the more aggressive race car drivers, and that's a crown that he wears. And he loves it because this is a guy that is fierce behind the wheel. And sometimes that fierceness comes out the wrong way to others, but the bottom line is, tonight, he's the driver holding the checkered flag and the winner of the Market USA 100. Let's go down to Randy Pulliam trackside, who has tonight's winner, Mike Speeney.
Here he comes. For the second time this season. Let's head on over here to the other side, Mike. Mike, second win of the season, 3rd in your Bowman Gray career. All wins are great. Those first 2 wins were the second half of a 25-lapper. This one's got to feel pretty sweet.
Yeah, we finally got one that matters. But no, we had a really great car. Link, really set me up and got me going. So the car was really good. I was kind of half throttle, half the race. And, when I started beating on Danny's bumper, that's when, we started picking up the pace. So, I hope he knows that I ran him clean. I didn't take him out. I appreciate him not drilling my bumper, when he got behind me. But I want to thank QRC guys. I want to thank P3 Power Washing, Ernest Performance, Webb Motorsports, Justin Link. I forgot him last time.
Well, anybody that says that you can't race too wide or there's a not exciting race here in the stadium, they're sadly misinformed, aren't they?
Oh, yeah, we can put on a show if I got our heads screwed on straight.
Mike, you got your head screwed on straight. Thanks. Congratulations. Picks up win number 2 on the season. His 3rd overall win. He's going to go over and pick up the winner's trophy from Delta and Jay Mitchell from Market USA, the proud sponsors of the Market USA 100.
Mike Speeney with his 3rd career win in the modifieds. It's our opportunity to take a quick break. We'll be back with more action from the NASCAR Advanced Auto Parts Weekly Series from historic Bowman Gray Stadium, live on Flow Racing.
From Winston-Salem is the number 8 of Tyler Kepley. Billy Gregg in the number 28 out of Winston-Salem will roll off 14. Starting 13 from Winston-Salem is the 03 of Sterling Clemens. Rolling off 12 from Walnut Cove is Chris Taylor in the car number 88. Starting 11 from Poptown is the 37 of Chris Massey. Rolling off 10, he is the winner of the first 20-lap event.
Flow Racing, every Saturday night, 7:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Bowman Gray Stadium action, and next week, the Red Oak Brewing Sportsman 100 for you. Make sure if you're within reach, come on down, buy you a ticket. The cheapest, most affordable show in town. Where can you go in America for $12 and get this much entertainment?
Big night coming up. Red Oak Brewing Sportsman 100, modified races, 2025 lappers, a skid race as well.
Oh, little donuts in the kettle corn. Oh, don't get me too excited because we have a starting lineup to get to it. And let's get to it now with 16 sportsman cars lined up on the pole. The Shitty Coolers, number 15, it's T. Dawson to the outside. The number 51 machine of Austin Taylor.
Starting in third out of Winston-Salem, North Carolina, and the number 7 piloted by Dylan Ward in that car still. They've still made the flip-flop of this evening. And number 1, Cale Martin out of Winston-Salem, North Carolina, racing for Kernersville Counseling Center, will start fourth.
Mitch Gales lines up fifth. In sixth position, Ryan Robertson, the number 12 of Justin Taylor, next. Chase Robertson, your points leader, is next. Starting ninth, Tommy Neal. Zach Orr, your winner, starting 10th. Chris Massey, Chris Taylor, Sterling Plemons, Billy Gregg, Kyler Kepley, and the Furnace A.J. Burness to green flag you, James Pike.
Off they go in this sportsman race. Good jump there for Ward. Look at contact, though. There goes Miss Gales to the inside. Almost pointed towards the barrier. He's going to pop out into the racetrack. Are we going to go clean? Yes, we will. No caution yet. Good battles, though, a little bit further back in the field. Oh, and then Zach Orr gets spun by Tommy Neal in the middle of the turn. A lot of fans on their feet as the call 811 before you did caution comes out. T. Dawson also around in the grass. You see him rejoining the racetrack. Zach Orr back onto the racetrack as well.
Oh, a little interesting between the 21 and the 55.
Gales pulling back around to the front. Gales there, catching up to the rear bumper. Ryan Robertson, Mitch Gales.
Mitch Gales not too happy in the number 38 machine. The good guy. Maybe a little hot under his collar.
Maybe the bad guy tonight?
I don't know. Well, I mean, if he got spun, maybe he's still the good guy. You don't know. I mean, Ryan Robertson usually is pretty clean and green, but there's contact to foot everywhere, and a little bit of contact under caution.
A lot of contact under caution. Let's be fair about that. It's hard to tell from that angle, but there were about 2 or 3 bumps that Mitch Gales gave Ryan Robertson there going into the corner. So Gales is now going to fall back towards the back of the field and take his place per the rulebook at Bowman Gray, and the lights will indeed go out the modern Chevrolet Pace vehicle. The 7 machine.
But interesting to note, Pike, the 21 and the 55 getting together. Remember 4 weeks ago when the 21 was chasing Zach Orr around the pace car.
One of the more memorable moments of this season.
They say elephants have a great memory. Race car drivers do as well. About to go green, 1 lap on the scoreboard here at historic Bowman Gray Stadium. Connor Branch in his familiar number 7 that Dylan Ward raced in the first race. Now the battle is on for second. Ryan Robertson to the bottom of Austin Taylor. The Taylor boys in third and fourth right now, the brothers.
So Ryan Robertson gets sent up in the middle of the corner. That opens up the door on the inside. Chase Robertson has to check up. Taylors and Robertsons fighting for spots, and I wonder if Chase may go on a little bit of defense there with the family intact.
Brotherly love turning into brotherly shove here at Bowman Gray Stadium. It's a family affair, a coliseum of chaos, and you're seeing the bumper tag all the way around the famed quarter mile right now.
Really smart work there from Chase Robertson to get around the 51 machine in such a way that Tommy Neal filled that gap immediately, and there was no opportunity whatsoever for Austin Taylor to try and get Robertson back. Robertson gave him a little bit of nudge. Wasn't a huge one, but it was one of the kind of nudges with the way that battle is gone that Austin Taylor may have tried something, but Chase Robertson left no shot at it.
Well, all of that going on has let Connor Branch stretch out a very decisive lead here, commanding lead over this field. Justin Taylor in second as we take our breath. In third and fourth are the brothers Robertson. Ryan, followed by Chase, your points leader. Tommy Neal behind them, and so is Billy Gregg. Now to the bottom, Chase Robertson to the bottom of Big Brother. He gets the spot. Give Chase Robertson P3. Here comes the Tiger, Tommy Neal, to fill the hole.
I know Chase Robertson was trying to leave a gap there for Ryan Robertson, but Tommy Neal was just too close, and Tommy Neal will not take any prisoners, so he'll get the spot from Ryan Robertson. Billy Gregg also with a position 2. But now the chase on to try and run down that 7 machine, which is way out in front of everybody else. Ryan Robertson continuing to lose spots a little bit further back. He'll fall back of Billy Gregg and end up after all of this in the 6th position as Zach Orr now is working underneath Austin Taylor for 7th.
Billy Gregg in the 28, the black and teal car there, looking for sponsorship, really improving his season. Here comes Zach Orr trying to rebound. He was the winner in the first race, started P10, had a little bit of a spin cycle, now recovering and moving his way up into the 6th position. Now the battle is on for the lead. Second place, Donkey Strong Justin Taylor with a mirror full of Chase Robertson.
Robertson continuing to put the pressure on the other Taylor. you have to be clear about that. Not Austin, Justin.
Justin Taylor, Donkey Strong, the number 12, winner of last week's Sportsman feature event, the black and orange. Number 12 on your screen, your points leader, the 31, the young driver, East Coast Wings and Grill, number 31. The dominator so far in 2025 is in his tire tracks, and both cars wrapping the bottom as we go to yellow flag here.
Call 811 before you get caution out. No immediate break in the track crew just yet, but
let's take a quick break on Flow Racing. We'll come back at the Madhouse.
all right, so we're back with action at Bowman Gray Stadium, live on Flow Racing. There's Chris Taylor with the Little Donuts machine, all tied up, broken, busted, pieces hanging off as we continue to circle behind the modern Chevrolet Pace vehicle. 13 laps up on the board. Jimmy Apsher pulls the modern Chevrolet Pace vehicle into its place in the infield. And the 7 machine will roll off and go. Big slide, though, there from Justin Taylor in second.
We are Ben Ward in that 7 car from race control to our left. Okay, it said on our sheet Connor Branch, but he traded that car to Dylan Ward. So that's the confusion from the race officials up here. It's okay. But Dylan Ward, the big man, in that number 7 car, the Ward family, synonymous with racing here at Bowman Gray Stadium. Of course, Dean Ward in that modified race, the number 12, coming to 5 laps to go.
And Justin Taylor just not getting any sort of break whatsoever. Slides up the racetrack there. Chase Robertson going to the outside to try and make this pass and has that great run down the straightaway, but won't clear Taylor, who then bumps up into him in the corner. This may open the opportunity for Tommy Neal to do something as Robertson tried to get in front of Neal, and there's no way Tommy Neal will like that.
What a great save by Robertson, who's kept his nose clean all season long, and now is in a battle royale with 3 laps to go in the Sportsman Division race. He's got the Tiger to his inside.
Big contact there in the middle of the corner. Tommy Neal's going to get the spots. It's the price that Chase Robinson pays for trying to go to the outside here. Contact with Billy Gregg as well. He's going to get trapped there on the outside. It's going to back him up even more and even closer to Zach Orr. This almost was going to be a decent points haul for Chase Robertson. He's going to have to move some people now to get these spots back.
Here he goes with the crossover to the bottom of Gregg's machine. White flag is out on the racetrack. Everybody looking at that battle, but setting clear sailing in front is the driver of the number 7. He traded for this car just a week ago, and tonight he brings the 7 to victory lane. Dylan Ward does it. Battle is on for the 4th position. Robertson gets him at the line.
Big fight there for P4. Chase Robertson had to rebound there, but this is all about the 7 machine at the end of this. That black machine has had all sorts of speed with the chrome numbers out, that pink all night long. And
Ward, Taylor, Tommy Neal, Chase Robertson, I believe Billy Gregg after that. Sportsman race number 2.
Dylan Ward with his 18th career win here at Bowman Gray. That ties Ricky Gregg for 21st all-time in the law offices of John Barrow Sportsman Division. That's another certified Justin Mincy stat. We really should get him a partner on board to make sure that
I don't know. I used to sit coming out of turn. I used to sit coming out of turn number 2 with and Justin Mincy set like a section over from me, and we became friends. You know, messaging each other on social media, and then sitting together here at the Madhouse. I'm proud to share the booth with him, as well as Matt Strickard in the back row, who's been a friend for a long time. But you know what? It's all about friends. It's all about family. It's all about racing. Okay, and you look right now. This is a great family of racing here. The Ward family, of course. You know, Dean Ward, a blunderbuss champion, somebody who's got wins in the modified division, and now Dylan Ward. This driver here isn't just a guy that shows up with his helmet bag. He builds chassis for so many of these drivers, including your points leader, Chase Robertson. Builds chassis. He's been working so hard with Connor Branch and his modified that he traded with him to get him up to speed and work on that car, and tonight he's the winner.
97th career win for the Ward family, 5th most in the history of Bowman Gray Stadium. Let's go down for the first time. It's Chris Carter who will have the interview with Dylan Ward.
Everybody coming in to say hello to Dylan Ward. Congratulations on this win. Get ready. Let him hear you, Dylan Ward. Well, using another time zone right there, Dylan Ward. What a win. Way to go, buddy. Tell us about your night.
That's just how it works out here sometimes. But I got to thank Brad Lewis and Emily for letting me use their tires. I really didn't have tires and wasn't prepared to race tonight. But I got to thank Tim Triplett and Nick, AJ, and Aaron in the shop. Everything they do. I mean, I couldn't do that without all them guys. I definitely got to thank my dad and my Uncle Dale. I definitely wouldn't be here without them, and the good Lord above for letting me do what I love to do every week. It gets a little stressful sometimes, but it's all worth it at the end.
A lot of people don't realize everything that you have on your plate, Dylan Ward, but there's also a lot of us that do. Can we expect you to be in this car for the rest of the season?
No, definitely not. We got it rented out next week, so I think Noah Triplett's going to drive it, and hopefully he can have some success. And, we'll see what happens.
One more time, race fans. Let him hear you. Dylan Ward!
All right, folks, let's come back here at the Madhouse because we have 2 stadium stock races for you getting on the track. We'll be back on Flow Racing.
Shop in your #1 source for tires and wheels in Kernersville, North Carolina. They offer a variety of automotive services to keep your vehicle rolling on the road and off. Choice Tire and Automotive offers check engine light repair and diagnostics, oil changes, brake repairs, alignments, balancing, rotations, and general automotive repairs. They bring the best quality service possible in everything they do, and their team is committed to providing the best workmanship and customer experience possible. Choice Tire and Automotive's hours are Monday through Friday from 7:30 a.m. till 5 p.m. Give Choice Tire and Automotive a call at 336-992-9002 and let them take care of your tire and automotive service needs.
welcome back to Victory Lane, Brendan Lee Brendel. What a way to come back to the series.
Brandon Brendel will pick up his second win of the season. He goes back-to-back to start the season.
Checkered flag is out, and Brendan Lee Brendel does it. A walk-off. Here comes the north turn nudge. A straight one from McDonald, but no. Brendan Brendel takes the checkered flag. This guy is virtually unstoppable. Brendan Lee Brendel has been the superstar of the stadium stocks. He will be coming up later on. You're going to want to keep tuned in on Flow Racing for that one. But first, the B feature for the stadium stocks, the Buzz Bombers. Let's give you the starting lineup. Starting first in the 58, the Grease Bug. It's David Beauchamp. To the outside, the Cowboys Garage 26. It's Ricky Wall.
Starting in third, the number 18 Machine, the Trash It Dumpsters car out of Winston-Salem, North Carolina. It's Billy Andrews. Starting in fourth, and the number 71 out of Moxville, North Carolina, James Allison.
The MB Productions Rodeo number 46 starts next. That's Colton Brown with Dakota Meller. The Alvea Therapeutic Massage 86 to the outside.
Starting in seventh, the number 11 Carolina Choice Realty Machine out of Lexington, North Carolina, driven by Sidney Sanders. Starting in eighth, and the number 15 Kiki Soap car out of Boca Raton, Florida. It's Andres Chavez.
Starting next, the legendary car. It's part Pinto, part Mustang, but it's all Pintang. It's Chris Allison starting ninth. Starting 10th, the Disco Turkeys, number 51. It's Andrew Case.
Starting in 11th, the number 25 Southern Vinyl Machine out of Kernersville, North Carolina, Matt Goodwin. And starting in 12th, the number 12 car out of Pilot Mountain, North Carolina, the AKP Realty car driven by Tyler Rose.
The number 67, sponsored by Andrews Home Repair, starts next. That's Drew Mason. And to the outside, the Blade Runner Pawn, number 28, for the veteran, Robert May.
Final car in this starting grid, 15 cars tonight. The number 10, T Custom Machine, driven by Light Bright J.B. Limeberry.
I miss the neon underneath the car. I never liked that neon thing on street cars. I think it looks dumb, just like the Carolina Squat. It's stupid. But I'll tell you what. It became a beloved tradition, and after about 3 weeks, I told Light Bright, I'm like, that's cool. I love it.
All I'm going to say is, sir, you did not play Need for Speed Underground when you were younger.
No, I don't. I play real racing games. I play real racing games. I play for keeps. Here we go. Green flag about to come out for the Buzz Bombers on Market USA night, $2 college night, and green flag is out. And buzzing to the lead is the Cowboys Garage 26. The Grease Bug is slow and dropping back.
That car slides back. Ricky Wall and Billy Andrews have taken control of this. James Allison, teammate to the Pintang, is up to spot. Look at Pintang making a move a little bit further back there. You see that blue blur starting to climb its way up the order. But a battle for the lead here between Andrews and Wall.
Here comes the racing roofer to the inside. Oh, throw the shingles aside. Billy Andrews to the top spot.
Nailed down the top spot, right?
He nailed it down for sure. A little bit of tar, a little bit of nails. That guy works his butt off in the heat. I'll tell you what, he probably so in shape right now. And, oh, here comes a little bit of Grease Bug and the Pintang getting together. The Pintang on the outside. They're the beloved number 7 Pinto and Mustang combination car. Andrews leads. Ricky Wall, Colton Brown in the third position. Now here comes Chris Allison to pass his dad, Pintang, passing the father of Pintang, who pulls to the inside.
Pintang and father of Pintang?
Father of Pintang. Yes, I said yeah, James Allison, the orange number 71.
That almost applies to son of Pintang as well.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah. So, new Pintang shirts in the pit area, by the way.
Fair.
I was told. So, I have not seen that. Actually, I saw Zach Staley wearing one today. Anyway, back to the racing action. A gaggle of orange cars on the speedway with Colton Brown. There's James Allison, 71. Grease Bug, the orange number 58. And here comes Dakota Meller behind them. And then behind them is the number 51 Disco Turkeys car, Andrew Cates.
Ballpark, this is, I believe, as we hit the halfway point in this race, this first one of the evening for the Q104.1 Stadium Stocks. This is ballpark, I believe, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th on the racetrack. I think this battle specifically is for 8th between Cates and the 86 machine. Dakota Meller there on the outside losing positions.
And right now the battle's heating up for the second position. Colton Brown reeling in the Cowboys Garage, number 26.
But everybody's still trying to give chase to Billy Andrews, who is in control of this. 9 laps going to go up on the scoreboard here in just a moment.
The MB production now trying to follow the Cowboy. You got the Cowboy in the rodeo, second and third position right now. Ricky Wall really trying to get his first win, but Billy Andrews has set sail at the front of this field, coming to lap 10. 5 laps to go for the Q104 Stadium Stalkers.
And the biggest problem, I think, here is that there's lap traffic in the way.
Spin! Spin in turn number 2. This will tighten up the field. Yellow flag is out. It is Austin Cates who has been running that car every week. Mike Cates typically runs that car. We do not have who is in that race car right now. But last week, Austin Cates was running that car of Mike Cates. Not listed on our lineup is Frankenstein. Not seeing that car on this. Oh, but look, sponsored by my wife on the back of the Grease Bug number 58. But the 83 was the car that spun, the car that we know as Frankenstein, the patch. It's like my favorite song by the, Patchwork Girlfriend. Oh, there it is, by my wife, spelled correctly for some people. Grease Bug, love you, buddy. it's we'll work on the spelling. It's okay. It gives it character, just like that car, one of the kind of cool Fox Body Mustangs. I love those old school stadium stocks. There's JB Limeberry. Thank God they don't pay me to talk. You just take the green. I'm bowing out.
I'll do that. Jimmy Amsher pulls the Madhouse Chevrolet Pace vehicle in. Andrews and Wall. This is a great chance for Wall to reset and maybe try and reel Andrews back in again, but that's an incredible jump for Billy Andrews. 2 car lengths clear by the time they make it to the first turn. Then Wall, then Brown, then Pintang sitting in fourth with an opportunity maybe to get third. There goes Allison looking to the outside, might fake to the inside, doesn't have a great run through the corner. If anything, it might be Brown trying to work over Wall for second here. 13 laps up.
Andrews with a commanding lead, battle on for second, third, and fourth right now. Here comes the Pintang to the outside of the number 46 machine for the third spot. Colton Brown on the inside. Pintang to the outside. 2 laps to go for the stadium stocks. Here comes the Pintang doing it the hard way, sideways around the south turn. Down the east straightaway they go. Coming to the white flag. Billy Andrews, your leader, leading by a country mile, spends his weeks hard working in the heat, in the Carolinas, up on roofs, and he'll be up in victory lane tonight. Give the win to Billy Andrews.
Is it fair to say that Billy Andrews might have raised the roof off this place?
Raise the roof! Raise the roof! It's Billy Andrews. Second career win for the driver of the number 18 machine. He had his together tonight, that's for sure. That's a little inside joke between he and I. The Trivets Roofing and Gutter machine, Koger Plumbing. There we go. Ricky Wall pulling to the inside of the 26 machine. Little respect right there. Drew Mason also joining victory lane. Drew Mason, Billy Andrews drove his car just a few weeks ago, the blue number 67 machine, and now taking a victory lap with Ricky Wall behind him. A lot of sportsmanship here in the stadium stock division.
So Billy Andrews will take that victory lap with the congratulations from Ricky Wall, and he will land in Carolina Wood Floors victory lane at the end of it all. I see
from roof to floor.
Right. I see at least 2 of our photographers ready to go. Corey Latham with his Ramblin' Wreck Georgia Tech hat on, as he always has in the infield. From Esser Media also there. And Randy Pulliam.
The donuts! He's got his helmet already on the right side of the car. Billy Andrews with some textbook donuts and puts that car into victory lane. Entertaining the fans of the beer garden there. Throw it down to Randy Pulliam in victory lane. He's climbed out.
Billy, let's come around here so you folks all around the country with Flow Racing can see you up there, Matt Dillner and the crew. Billy, if I'm not mistaken, this win number 2 in your career, is that right?
Yes, sir, it is. I got a lot of people to thank. Got to thank the good Lord above. I got to thank my buddy Drew. He sets the car up. AJ Sanders and the family helps us. I got to thank all my sponsors, Trivets Roofing and Gutter and Bully's Bar and Grill, Cougar Plumbing, Trash It Dumpsters, Z2 Restoration, Harrison Lawn. That's it.
Let's head over to the Carolina Wood Floors Winner's Circle to pick up the winner's trophy. Billy Andrews, ladies and gentlemen, picking up his first win of the season. Second.
Billy Andrews lands in Carolina Wood Floors victory lane. One more race for the Q104.1 Stadium Stocks. Coming up next, we'll be back after a quick break with more action from the NASCAR Advanced Auto Parts Weekly Series live from Bowman Gray Stadium on Flow Racing.
We're having a lot of fun here at Bowman Gray Stadium. And there's the guy we've been talking about, the guy on the top of the stadium stock division, Brendan Lee Brendel, a.k.a. Scooter. Let's give you the starting lineup for the A race for the Stadium Stockers, a 15-lap affair. On the pole is Brandon Lee Brendel, that number 43 Infinity Insurance Group car, and on the outside, the Kimono Japanese Restaurant, number 22 for the Peanut Baker.
Starting in third in the number 1 machine out of Moxville, North Carolina, the garage doors of the Triad car, driven by the Slim Reaper, Grayson Keaton. Starting in fourth in the number 24 machine, it's the Grandmaster Knoxville, North Carolina, racing for Clifton Plumbing, A.J. Sanders.
Starting fifth tonight, the Patriot Mark at number 47 for Tyler McDonald to the outside. The Velocita 81 for the great Chuck Wall.
Starting in seventh, the number 44 car in Moxville, North Carolina, the Carolina Triad Choice Realty Machine, driven by Blaze Sanders. And starting to his outside, the number 60 car in eighth in Boonville, North Carolina, racing for Ellis Tire and Auto, it's Brad Michalowski.
The Triad Florentine number 80 starts ninth. That's Luke Smith. To the outside, the Tysinger Lawn Care Machine, the 27 for Austin Cates.
Another driver out of Moxville, North Carolina, rolls off from the 11th spot, piloting the number 5 Reinhardt Fire Services car. It's Connor Keaton. And starting in 12th, the number 2 machine out of Advance, North Carolina, racing for K-Dog Graphics, Carson Reed.
And starting last, the number 88, I'm eating them right now, Little Donuts machine. Oh, man, that cinnamon sugar's good. It's Zach Taylor.
With support from Greg Butcher Trucking, here as Jimmy Absher pulls the modern Chevrolet Pace vehicle off to its place in the infield. Brandon Lee Brindle will lead us to green in our final 15-lapper of the night, and I'm not sure if that restart is going to take.
No, it's going back.
Immediately.
There's a lady on the flag stand, a guest with Market USA or Q104, I believe, that's waving the green flag tonight. And she was waving it, and at the same time, the real flagger was grabbing the yellow.
No, he just put the hand in front and said, just stop. We'll do it again here in a bit. So,
well, here we go. Re-rack them, restack them here for the Stadium Stalkers A race. Brendan Lee Brendel on the bottom. Here comes Peanut Baker to the green, side by side. Baker getting a push from the Grandmaster. Battle is on for the second position. The Slim Reaper sideways, dirt tracking that thing down the east straightaway. He's got the bottom. That's the valuable real estate.
Peanut Baker just trying to not get run over. There goes Keaton. There goes McDonald. There goes Chuck Wall. Remember, Wall and Grayson Keaton had a running into of sorts, and they're probably putting it lightly last week. So watch those two if they get any closer. But as it stands, Baker's sort of the cork in the bottle.
And what about A.J. Sanders right there? Oh, my gosh, he has been stuck behind Peanut. The poor A.J. Sanders car just has had nowhere to go there on the outside. Michalowski to the bottom of that blue number 24 right now.
So Sanders is going to try and drive around the outside of everybody here as Peanut goes up high to block. Michalowski has a nose underneath A.J. Sanders. Meanwhile, a little bit of contact between Grayson Keaton and Tyler McDonald for the second spot, and Chuck Wall is right there if they happen to spin each other out or get into each other or loosen themselves and send themselves up the racetrack.
That battle is pretty spectacular. Now we look at the second, third, and fourth place position. But, hey, A.J. Sanders and Michalowski still side by side. Some great respectful racing. Luke Smith in the white number 80 right behind those machines right now. Michalowski trying to effort his way underneath the 24. A.J. Sanders slams the door down the front straightaway.
A.J. Sanders now finally down to the inside lane, and he'll have an opportunity to work over Peanut Baker single-handedly. Meanwhile, no change for the second position at the moment, but Tyler McDonald is right there, and if McDonald can get to the inside, look who's right behind him, Chuck Wall.
Chuck Wall, a dominant force here in this division. Last week, of course, his night ending in the north turn wall with an incident with Grayson Keaton. Keaton right now, that white number 1 machine, the Slim Reaper, with the Patriot Market 47 of McDonald all over the rear bumper. That's the 47 black and orange machine.
Coming on to halfway here, cross flags when they hit the stripe. Brandon Lee Brindle clear by maybe half a straightaway. Tyler McDonald with the rear bumper in the rear bumper there of Grayson Keaton, continuing to lean on him all the way through the south turn, and I imagine we'll see it again in the north. Between McDonald and Keaton, they continue to drive into each other, and he just will not get off the rear bumper, and he may just send Grayson Keaton way up the racetrack. Tyler McDonald deciding that he has run out of patience.
I'll tell you what, that's some dirt tracking experience there from them Keaton boys. These are dirt track warriors, and they slid that car all the way around to Grayson Keaton. Unfortunately, he gives up that spot to the 47. Now Chuck Wall slides underneath him. Hopefully not a replay of what happened last week, but the number 1 graciously gets by and slams his car to the bottom of the racetrack, tucking in behind Wall.
So the adventure now done between the top 4 as we now had 4 laps to go. Luke Smith looking to the inside of A.J. Sanders for the 5th position. That might be the best battle on the racetrack, just a little bit behind this one that you see on your screen as they continue to circulate. But there you are, door to door. Luke Smith working to the inside of the Grandmaster to get a spot in the top 5. He'll have it at the stripe. He hasn't cleared Sanders yet. Now he does in the corner. Contact through the center of the south turn, but Luke Smith locks down P5.
Smith right there getting around Sanders. Sanders not having a very Sanders season thus far in 2025. Some top 5 finishes, but really lacking the raw speed that we typically see. There is Connor Keaton moving himself up in that number 5 machine past the Michalowski black number 60. White flag is out for the white car. The drive for 5 now for Brendel going down the east straightaway.
Brandon Lee Brindle untouched in this race and will waltz on into Carolina Floor's victory lane. Brandon Lee Brindle wins the second race for the Q104.1 Stadium Stock Series in night 1,120 at Bowman Gray Stadium.
Brendel does it again. The dominance of the number 43 car in 2025 is unmistakable.
his 35th career win, and he takes sole possession of 4th place in the all-time Stadium Stock Division wins list over Charlie Curry. And by my math, I also believe that now moves him now P1 for most wins out of any division in 2025 as well.
The Top Gun Award here, so coveted by these race car drivers in each division, and then overall at the stadium for sure. The Infinity Insurance Group, number 43, old Scooter, picks him up another checkered flag, and you see the checkered flag there, buddy. Something that, I mean, everybody that's raced a race car, and I'll admit, me too, I wish I could someday grasp that thing. And this driver getting to do it 35 times. Last year's moonlighting in the sportsman division, coming back to the stadium stocks and showing, so much dominance.
The amount of drivers, those who have firmly grasped the Bowman Gray Stadium checkered flag here at the Madhouse is Brandon Lee Brindle to bring that car into Carolina Wood Floors Victory Lane, and he will be joined by track announcer Randy Pulliam for the last Victory Lane interview of the evening. Brindle will park the car just about perfectly, maybe a little bit short of the box, but it doesn't matter. You're still in Carolina Wood Floors Victory Lane. Let's go down now to Randy Pulliam for the winter interview.
Brandon Brindle picks up the win. Brandon, let's come around here to the other side of your car so the folks will Flow Racing and get a good. What a magical season. It just continues. Win number 5 on the season. Congratulations.
I want to give a shout out to the redhead shooting me the bird. Get it, girl. We fought the car all day. Tires was a big issue, and they came in when they needed to. I want to thank Brick with Drainage Solutions, Brian Noble, Chad Chandler with Chandler Home Improvement, Donnie Nall, Sanity Speed Elixir, Kendall Griffin, G Engineering, and Todd Barnhart with Infinity Insurance Group. This is his hot rod, and he lets me wheel it.
Win number 5 on the season, number 35 in your career. And one thing about the fans, Brandon, they're passionate either way. Whether they throw you the bird or they cheer you, it's great to have passionate fans like we have at the Madhouse, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Brandon Lee Brindle goes to Victory Lane here in the Q104.1 stock feature. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back to wrap up our evening of racing from the Madhouse. This is coverage of the NASCAR Advanced Auto Parts Weekly Series from Bowman Gray Stadium in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, live on Flow Racing.
Q104.1 Stadium Stock Series racers will be in action as well. Plus, an added
final checkered flag has dropped here at Bowman Gray Stadium. I'm Matthew Dillner, joined by James Pike, and we have plenty of racing left in the Bowman Gray Stadium season. We're nearing what they used to call the mid-season championship point. Okay, the July 4th break. But folks, next week the Red Oak Brewing the Sportsman 100, a big one for you before the July 4th break. And when we come back from the break, another big modified 100. But folks, hang on to your hats. It's double points nights in all divisions. That's going to be a night of all nights, night of destruction after that. Of course, the Sportsman 100, modified 100, August 2nd. So much racing, 7:05 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every Saturday night, live worldwide on Flow Racing. Hey, Pike, I want to quick say thank you for tonight. Had a great time, but what's your takeaway from tonight's action here at Bowman Gray?
Well, number one, it's not just the night of destruction. It's the True Lion Federal Credit Union Night of Destruction on July 19th.
All right.
2,
I knew you wanted that.
Finally
Gosh, that was
the
great.
job done. And a big shout out to all our winners this evening. Mike Sweeney got the Market USA 100 of the modifieds. Zach Orr and Dylan Ward got the Sportsman wins. K-Train in the street stocks. Brandon Lee Brendel and Billy Andrews victorious in the stadium stocks. Shout out to them, and a shout out to all of our crew this evening. On site, Joe Radler, Elgin Trailer on cams, Matt Strickert, our field director, and then in Concord, our team, Justin Mincy, our statistician alongside us, Will Adams, back in Concord engineering things, our director Sarah Akins, our producer Jordan Nemeth. Fabulous work by our crew all night long, and hugely excited, especially for K-Train. You saw how big was it for him to get his first career win at the Madhouse. Finally, really happy for him. Hard not to be.
That's emotion. That's the Madhouse. It matters so much. But Jordan, great job as well. Sarah, unbelievable. So proud to be part of this Flow Racing crew every Saturday night. Make sure you tune in next week because you never know what's going to happen. Hey, folks, there's a reason they call it the Madhouse. For James Pike and everybody here in the booth, I'm Matthew Dillner. And until next time, we'll see you at the races.